Morning, yeah.
Sorry?
Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of GKP Live Pond Talk. Hope you're all good and hope you're all well and had a good week. We've got Rick with us again as a guest again this evening. We've got Daz who's tucking into a bowl of chili, Vince who's sat ready and waiting to go, and the usual thing, guys, we will be right back to you after this. This would have, if I were going to pick this show, I'm going to pick that one. So we've got a lot more up to come. Nice patterning, nice separation. Look at that, beautiful fish. And again, check this out, guys. This is something else. That is beautiful. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Nice wild common carp coming up for a piece of bread. Perfect. And have a look at his koi facility again, and look at this full cherry blossom. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to get from the other side so we've got the sun behind us so that you can see this, but this is absolutely stunning. Yeah, it is. This is beautiful. Yeah, it is. Absolutely beautiful. Without further ado, I'll get us inside, have a look round, and let you see what you think.
Now, that threw me completely because you've changed the fucking music.
I have, mate, and just I have. I had to do, mate, because I got slammed with
Copyright claim?
well, not so much a copyright claim, but it's I haven't given creditation because and I do with all my other music that I use, but I've been forgetting to put it in on the lives. So rather than being the ones that benefit from it, I changed the song and put a different one in that I don't have to give everybody copyrights to.
Yeah, been there, done that. Thank you very much, dear love.
So yeah, a little bit of a different intro as well. There was one different scene in there. One of them was chopped out and rechanged just to make it a little bit shorter, as it is quite a long intro. I hope everybody likes it. Hope everybody happy with it. But that's the one we're dealing with at present.
That last fish you pick up in there, the Deutsch Kinki Matsuba.
Nice. That.
I got a lovely one of them in the growing on tank from Ricky.
Have you?
Yeah.
I like them. They're nice. They're a nice fish.
They are nice. I've got like a lemon coloured one. Just one. I don't know how many, we just one, but yeah, it's nice.
They're good. They're probably one of
That's the one.
I mean, Yamabuki is my favourite, but that would probably, if I had one of them, I'd prefer that over a Yamabuki, I think. 100%. They're nice fish, aren't they? Stunning.
Yeah, I mean, you at New Forest, you produce some cracking ones.
Sometimes we did try, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not picking you up, but yours are probably the best I've ever seen. And you've got
Well, you are picking me up then. No, yeah, cheers for that.
You're going to make him blush now, Daz.
Yeah. Not used to that.
Oh, nice. That's where your dots, all your metallics came from, and all it. New Forest does. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The them as well.
Kikasui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing well as well.
So what is it if it's full on Deutsch, but full on yellow? They are yellow, aren't they? The ones that you've got, Daz?
yellow and orange, and some are like
Yeah, I mean, you've got them are just pure. Some are just pure yellow, though, aren't they?
they are, yeah, like a Deutsch
Like a Deutsche
Yamabuki.
Yamabuki.
It's still a Yamabuki, just Deutsch.
Yeah, I would say that's Deutsche Yamabuki, unless it's got that grey zipper, and then you're looking at Deutsche Matsuba.
No
Right.
zipper. If it has got a zipper, it's exactly the same colour throughout.
It is, yeah, they're all the
Right,
same.
that's a Deutsche Yamabuki then.
Cool.
Charles, I might have to pinch one of them.
I knew that was coming. But I'll tell you what though, Gaz, we'll see how much you love Yamabukis when that Benigoi starts to grow.
Yeah, that's true.
Grow
I've
back as well.
always liked Yamabukis, though. I don't know why. They've always been my favourite, right from being a kid. It's always been the one that I've particularly been more drawn to. I just don't know. I think there's something about them. I like them, just a big bar of gold in your palm.
Like a big banana.
I think to me, you know how they say every pond should have one of these, one of them, one of them. To me, every pond should have a Yamabuki.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But
more so than a
sure
Cheshire, I reckon.
about every pond should have a Tansho, though. I mean, I'm not such a favourite of them. They're not.
See, I went the other way. I didn't go for a Yamabuki, but I went for a Makashi instead.
Yeah. I've got to admit, Vince, I've got like a bronze Makashi Ogon, mate. That's something else. If that gets to a decent size, that'll be, well, for me, in my opinion, it'll be a stunning fish. It is. I've got to admit, single colours are something that I've become more favourable to. What about yourselves, guys? What do you think?
Yeah, me too, definitely.
I think single colours are coming back more than your pattern fish. In my opinion.
Although I'm always drawn to the fish like the sort of the cow pattern, like the Arawaki, lemon Arawaki, and the Kumonru, that sort of pattern. That always looks really smart to me.
Yeah. Come on then, Rick. What's your favourite? If you had to pick one, what is your favourite? Do you have a favourite?
One fish.
Yeah, one
variety.
Variety, yeah.
Probably have to be Showa. Because they're the one, that's probably the one variety we've just really struggled with. We spent as much money on Showa as every other parent fish we got on the farm put together, I reckon.
And no joy. I'll say not no joy, but not something you're 100% saying, yes, that's what we want. That's what we want to produce.
We're getting closer, and I think the problem's been not the parents. Our water and our raising techniques don't suit them. So we've used some amazing parents over the years and been disappointed. And actually, with hindsight and more knowledge, the problem's been probably more how we've dealt with them, how we've raised them. So
is that because your water's softer?
Yeah, the mud ponds are very soft and coloured, which don't suit the sumi, and there's so much work involved with them. The culling process. This year's are probably the best we've ever done, and I've got 100 good ones, but realistic, there's 5 of those that I'd look at and think, they're proper, and that's out of tens of thousands. 100,000 stupid numbers.
It's a numbers game, isn't it?
Realistically, got 5 that I'd look at and think I'd buy that as a parent. It's something that I'd want to go forward with, and it's hard work. But that also gives, when you go to some of the farms in Japan and see the numbers of good ones they do.
Yeah, we've watched a couple of videos when they've gone from the numbers that they've gone to. Like, for example, what was the koi called?
Was it S Legend?
S Legend, and her daughter, which was
John Legend.
It's a tan show, but it's John Legend is what he called it, because he names all his fish after singers. His favourite fish. That's what he does. That's what he said. And he was saying that the numbers that they'd come out of 500,000 plus. Down to 1, and it was like one of the, to produce what he got, and I'm like, wow, that was nuts. I mean, obviously, there's some in there that are good quality, but to be the one, the perfect one, yeah, we were down to the one, which was S Legend's daughter, which was John Legend. Funny enough, being called John,
Yeah.
daughter. But it's in his video, like he tells you all about it. But yeah, it's.
But they're saying that you do some stunning fucking Shiros. Is it different Sumi in the shower than there is to the Shiro? Because when we was down there that weekend, there was some amazing Shiro, weren't there? Because we sort of looked at them, Gaz.
The one that had got that cross on his head.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, mate, that one just, yeah.
That was
So,
cock on.
Yeah, I don't know. Shiros, we've always done much better with. And maybe there's less to choose from as parents. You go to Omasaka and you start there and you breed from those.
Yeah.
Showers, there's 10 good shower breeders in Japan, and we've used all of them as parents. And yeah, I mean, it's just the combination of keeping the belly good, getting the Sumi right, body shapes and deformations, and just yeah. I think we have to raise them differently, and we have to raise them as some of the farms like Ueno does. It's all concrete ponds, no mud ponds used. It's all raised concrete in a different way, and yeah, as we're doing that, we're seeing much better results. So yeah, they're not going to the mud ponds basically.
But can you produce a good Shuramuji? Sorry, that's a joke with Daz. They're his favourite.
Not
so what would you say is harder at the farm, the Showa or the Sankey? And for
us, we've been doing Sankey of a good level for years. It seems to work on the farm, but Showas, yeah, really, really difficult. And to be fair, the Sankey parents were the same sort of money as the Showa, but the first good ones we got from Momotaro have been good, and yeah, they seem to work in our environment, whereas the Showas don't. And we've had to change our environment to make the Showas work, which yeah,
getting better
results. Brings in other problems as well.
Yeah, well, the Sankeys, you don't seem to have the deformation problems. The body shapes are much better. So you start in with, if you've got 100,000 fry and you can start colouring them, you're only colouring on quality. You're not worrying about shapes and head shape and all the rest of it that comes with the Showas. And yeah, I think the Sankeys for probably a decade have been our best ones, are good Jap level fish. I don't think that's an issue, but yeah, I can't say that for the Showas. But we're getting, like I say, this year's been the best. The year before was probably the best before that. So we're getting there. But it's just a totally different way of handling them, different way of growing them, different way of dealing with them, till we end up with the same sort of result. But it's just, yeah, it's just the hardest variety for us. It's the hardest variety, definitely.
It's like you
say. To be totally honest, though, the quality of those Hitsuri that came out of that pond the other week, I would put them on par with anything that I've seen in the dealers over the last year.
Hitsuri, different animal. They're so much, I was going to say easier, but they're not as they haven't got the problems the Showas have got.
Why is that then?
They're structurally better. They've not been as inbred to be as fine tuned, perhaps, as the Showas, and therefore they're stronger, much stronger genetically, much stronger. You get away the faults on a Hitsuri, the little speckly, some of the bits on them, you get away with a Hitsuri, and the Jap farms get away with it. You don't with Showas. The Showas have got to be mint. And it's just a nightmare.
Yeah, they're a select choice. I mean, same could be said really with a Kahaku as well, aren't they? They've got to be right, aren't they? You don't want no speckles or flecks on them either, do you? They've got to be sweet.
Having said that, though, Gaz, it can be down to water with shimmies, can't it?
Well,
I
one thing.
don't
This were a thing that we were going to say. That one thing I've noticed. We went down to Daz's this weekend, and Mick Lawson gave Daz what we call Monster, which is now no longer a Monster. It's slightly been superseded by ANC Koi's Kahaku that Daz got from him. But that was particularly. You weren't. Is she Makashi? She's a Makashi.
It's a big white robot, basically.
A big white organ. I think it's a Makashi organ. If not, it's just a metallic organ. But
Is it metallic white? It's platinum organ.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah. Well, she's not like that type of.
It's got the deep luster on it, like
the luster as a platinum organ would have. It's not like that. It's not, no. That's what we thought Makashi. But she had a big sort of like black patch, 5p size on her head, and a couple of others down the body. But coming to Daz's water, being in Daz's pond, and changing the food this year, we don't know if that's the only changes that the fish has had, and the vast majority of them, all bar two, have gone.
Yeah, because Mick was very hard. It was, I think, a pH of 9, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got a pH of 9, Well, we're just wondering if our shimmies a permanent thing, or is it a water quality thing, or is it fish quality thing? I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
I think
the difference in
Ricky Goddard, and he was saying,
yeah, I haven't watched it, mate, as of yet. So
well, he was saying it's not genetic; it is down to water quality, especially with like asagis. He says some asagi breeders in Japan, theirs are more prone to shimmying, but I can't remember the one.
Right.
He only mentioned 2. He says that don't suffer with shimmies.
It's a different thing, though, isn't it? The asagi's got black in its blood, so that like the Oya asagi line don't tend to get shimmies, whereas a lot of others do. I think on Kahaku's, from what we've seen, it's genetic. We also use the same water. We've got some bloodlines that do not throw any offspring with shimmies, and we have some bloodlines that do, and it's the same water. So, in my opinion, we know which ones
genetically as well.
Genetically throw the shimmies, and they're become notorious for it. If you keep them in different water, you can stop the shimmies coming out so much.
Yeah.
Genetic that is prone in the genetics, and as I say, we've got some that doesn't matter what you do with them. Kahaku's, they do not have any black in them. They do not throw shimmies. It's just not there. And we've got other fish that you breed them, and even from tiny fry, you can see the black in the offspring.
Yeah,
they've also got Sankey blood in them, or to get the darker red, the black and the red are kind of linked, and you get So it's, I think water can affect how the shimmies will come out, but realistically, it's the genetics. If you've got fish that don't throw shimmies regardless, then they don't. But they might not have the darkest red or the game. They might not be the biggest growing one. So
well, that's good.
I had to my camera in. Now it's going to dick about in it instead.
No, man, touch it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's kind of well. I mean, if that's the case, if water affects it, then that could be what's yours being well water that you're using. Maybe it's slightly softer water, which has made them drop.
Yeah, what's the pH of that water as it comes out of the well?
I think it was about 7.
So that's not bloody bad.
Yeah. So coming from a 9 from Mick's pond, because it is stable at 9, isn't it, all the time, constantly.
Yeah.
Dropping it back down to a 7. Well, to see how it progresses, does see if they completely disappear.
Yeah.
Without
knowing the history of the fish, it might have done that regardless at that age.
Yeah,
the sumi comes and goes depending on there's so many variants, and without knowing
No, don't burst my bubble, Ricky. I was going to advertise it as a magical healing pool. So
All right.
people are fortunate image removed.
Yeah, removal.
Take a bottle of this home with you when you come and pick up a couple of fish. 1 free bottle. We're selling pitch does. Do you want to, just for all those people, obviously, Vince, that might not have seen, do you want to let them know which fish won the actual choice in the spawning that we went with?
Rumble, please. It was the red kajaku cross goshki.
There we go.
Cool.
So there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then this is my theory, and I don't know if it's right, Rick, and if it is or if it isn't. Did you say this will make a Benny Ginger, but will it have floating Benny then?
The best ones might. I'm not saying. Yeah, you'll get a lot of very dark, not particularly metallic goshki kajakus that aren't that great, but that's with any spawning. But the better ones, what you're hoping for is the dark floating Benny on a semi-metallic or metallic background. But you're going to lose some of the luster to get the red. But yeah, it's with any crosses, you might be 1% of the fish come out as you hope, and 99% are going to come out somewhere less than you hope.
You know, you were saying slightly earlier on about the showers, and you got down to what you would say was 5. That was cock on, dibs. There's only 4 of us here. You got to be quick, right. As well. So I got one in there, unless somebody else got a dibs in before us. It'd be nice. I can't wait to see what they become.
And guess what, people? They've already been spawned.
Yeah, that was quick, wasn't it?
Oh yes,
literally.
For all those people that's interested in one, watch this space then.
Yep. And
literally, well, I'll let you explain, Rick, what you've been on with. I don't want to say anything or do not say anything. That should be said.
Well, with just literally the first round of spawnings, and those fish happened to be in. So when Vince said that was the combination, it was a no-brainer. And to be fair, the red kajaku is one of Mark Gardner's ones. Yep. Anyway,
and
it's crossed.
That makes it a little bit even better, more special, then, doesn't it?
So you've got half of his blood in it, and the female goshki's like a floating Benny Cano one. That's I'm gonna put a picture on Facebook. It's a cracking fish, but so you kind of hope if 1% of the offspring have got the 2 elements you're looking for, then excellent. They should grow better than normal goshki because the kajaku's got bigger, better structure and better growth.
Yeah, because they are slow growers, goshki, normally, aren't they?
And,
and
because the community has decided this spawning combination that you've done.
You all always
if the spawning goes well, will you make fry available?
Yeah, I've made sure there was a decent amount of eggs. So obviously I used the goshki with the normal goshki parent as well. So I've had to split the eggs. So as long as they hatch well, I've only got room for one, so I'll keep 10,000 for one pond, and the rest will be sold at 2 weeks old.
Definitely down for some of them.
With whatever. I mean, there's 6 or 7 breedings yesterday or this morning, whenever it was. So they'll all be available at 2 week old. So there'll be the choice of mixes or specific types if their numbers suggest. But we've got quite a waiting list, obviously, that get notified first. But for those people that perhaps want some of that particular type, then when I know how many there are, then we can say that there's 20,000 available and first come, first served or whatever.
Certain amount.
Looking after 2 week old fries, it's not the easiest for most people.
No. Is that your dogs?
My dog, she's asleep.
The legs are going like crazy.
She's sleep dreaming. They've been with me all night at the farm.
She was asleep. Poor dog. She's been legging it around farm all day long. Come home, chilling out, relaxing.
She's still asleep somewhere over there. On the couch.
They are awesome. And trained. Oh my word.
Yeah.
They're tired. They come to work with me. They've been at work all night, so they've been awake all night with me.
Yeah.
So now they're.
So you've been up since silly o'clock then, all the way through last night and today.
Yeah.
Or have you managed to get your head down today?
No, I played football. Finished football at 10 o'clock last night. couldn't get to sleep. So I went to the farm, did the spawnings, and then I've had to work all day. So yeah, just missed the night.
So long. Missed the night. So when we get to
if he had slept last night, he would have missed the spawnings.
Yeah.
I would have done, yeah. Look, I couldn't wake you up, Vince, could I?
Vince was off in the land of Nod. I'm guessing you were trying to wake him up then.
Yeah.
500 calls later, no joy.
Yeah, I had a bad night. My wrist is starting to come up. Of course, I haven't had my injection for the last 2 weeks, so
we'll let him off.
Needed sleep then, wasn't it? Right, I'll kick through a few of these comments now. We'll have a quick chat with everybody and say hello, and then we'll go into one or two of the questions that we've had sent through.
Yeah, Ricky's got a question for everyone.
Oh, God, right. Sweet. Well,
I'll
just say
later.
He put it on your community post.
He did. He certainly did. Yeah. Koi Karma says, "Hi guys, looking forward to tonight's show. Hope everyone is doing well. With a double thumbs up, 200%.
Rocket boy.
Very good, mate. Twisted Koi says, yo, cupcakes. No, Vince. Bushy Pond Keeper says, evening all, have a great live and Gaz and crew. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it. Charlie Bifter Brown says, good evening, Gaz, Daz, and all that's viewing. And then we've got another big hello to the Blue Spanner group on COD Gamer group and the group that just loves Koi. How you doing, Charlie? How are you going?
Sorry.
Scotty Koi says, good evening all. Here's to another great live. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yes, bud.
Fingers crossed. DT Koi says, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well.
Orders.
Hertz Koi says, how are we doing? How are you doing, Hertz? How are we good?
How are we doing? Hertz, have you got that greenhouse cleared yet?
That's better.
His greenhouse. Oh,
yeah.
Don't know. I don't know if he has or not. But he was telling us that for the new build.
Yeah.
Sorry, we might just let cat out back there. Apologise, mate, if we did. MJH Corey says, "Evening all." Good evening, mate. Hope you're good. Glad you got your things. Glad you got yourself activated, mate, and you're all up and running. Budget Pond Keeper says, evening Hertz and MJH. Bubble and Finn says, hello everyone. Hope you all had a good day stroke week. You too. I hope you're well, love.
Evening, Paul.
Yeah, I had Susan out in the back garden with a paintbrush around this afternoon.
No way.
Yeah.
Doing pond things again.
No, she was painting the brickwork that I couldn't because of my wrist.
Ah, all right. Good excuse.
Yeah, no comment, Your Honour.
You might have been dropped right in it. Paul Butler says, hi everyone. How you doing, Paul? Thanks for joining us again, mate. Mr. Blue Spanner. Carlos C says, evening all. How you doing, Carlos? Thanks for coming back to join us again, mate. Jigs Mountain View Koi Pond says, hello, peeps. Jigs is in the house with an LOL and a smiling face and a
Jigsy, baby.
going, bud. Paul Mack says, evening, everyone. Good evening, Paul. Cashy Koi says, evening, gang, with a thumbs up.
Cashy.
DT says, don't forget your drinks and snacks for another great GKP Live. Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate that. What are we having? What's the snacks? What we got?
I've eaten them all.
Daz has already had his, and no doubt the trifle will be following suit right soon.
I've eaten on the cake.
I've got a few hard-boiled sweets, but that's a bit naff. I have eaten about 12 bags of that over these last couple of days. I'm surprised I got a teeth left. Bacon bites. Food of champions.
Oh, my word.
Rice says, hey, Paul, hope you're all doing, everyone's doing well. Excuse me, mate. Says, everyone is doing well. Good evening, Ryan. Hope you're good, mate. Jack Daniels in hand and cheese and onion chips in the oven.
Nice.
Scott Henderson says, Scott Henderson, Coy and Hawk says, hi all with a wave. Good evening, Scott.
Oh, you've got to check out Scott's channel, man. He has got some beautiful birds of prey, and he's hatching eggs and that at the moment. Yeah, he's doing imprinting and all this sort of thing. Good fucking reviewing. Go over and have a look. I love a bird of prey, me. But yeah, he's got some stunning birds there.
Oh, I had a customer. She had like a big aviary. She had snow owls. Oh, they were gorgeous.
A snow owl.
Yeah,
I think bird of prey is. I mean, there's something else, aren't there? They're always. It's always special when you see something decent. And it's not so good when you're driving down M62 and one flies across the front of your windscreen. That's quite like it. The size of it, though, honest to God, it was an early morning, a back end of last year, just as your late dark mornings. It's just turning. And it come across motorway in front of me, and I thought, Jesus Christ, if that had come through windscreen, it'd have put me through back doors. It was huge, man. I don't know what it was, but it was one hell of a big bird. It was
probably a buzzard.
Buzzards and kites are quite big.
Or an owl of some sort, a big type. But god damn, you don't realise just how big till you get within 6 inches of it windscreen of it. That's how close it was. It was literally dark and windy as it flew across, but it just whipped up, and I thought, any minute I'm going to see that big puff of feathers as it hits ladders on roof rack, but it didn't.
Square on in the van, and it knocked itself out cold. I thought it was dead. The van was parked on the drive at the time. It must have been chasing a bird. Oh, this bang! I thought, what the hell was that? And it was spark out. So I thought, it broke its neck or something. No. It was twitching a bit. So I phoned the ISPB, and I come back out, and bloody thing just sat up and flew off.
One of the lads I used to work with years ago when I worked for Hour of Timber, he used to drive a 7.5 tonner, and he was going down A64, and a pheasant come through his windscreen. He said it was like some out of a horror scene. As it come through the windscreen, it slashed its neck off, and its head were gone, and they were just blood everywhere. Carnage, mate. I've never seen that like it. They were just, when he come back, he was covered in blood, head to toe, all over him. I mean, it was literally all over windscreen, ceiling, dashboard, lot, you name it. It were everywhere. He said he could have done the blades for inside so he could see it window that bad.
Well, but if you're going to do it fucking properly, innit?
It went straight through. Big male pheasant bird flapping around everywhere inside cab. He said it was like some out of an horror scene. But
pheasants are stupid, though. They're suicidal.
Limped it back all the way to the yard instead of pulling up and getting somebody to come out for him a windscreen. He limped it back all the way to the yard from like A64 just outside of Leeds back to Huddersfield. Okay. It was bad, though. It was bad. Sorry, that was a bit of golf, yeah? Told you we talked some random crap on here, didn't I? Tell me, evening on, nearly the weekend. Yes, nearly the weekend indeed. And we are. We are
almost Saturday, guys.
Yeah. Outbound for Saturday morning, early start again. Whiz round the lads and pick up everybody and off for another adventure. Yes. All will be revealed. All I will say is keep watching for Sunday's video to drop. I don't think I'll get it out. It should very well drop on Sunday. Budget Pond Keeper says, evening all. I'm sure either that's just duplicated. I'm sure you do this on purpose to me. Chris, I always send me double messages just so I don't know if I'm losing my marbles or not. I'm sure
it's that Jack Daniels that's in his hand.
Did I see? Can't remember. I'll do it again. Paul Butler says, and give it a like, guys. Well, what do we miss? Miss something else. Thank you very much. But I'm guessing you mean give us a thumbs up and give us a like. Thank you. Appreciate that, Paul. DT says, certainly is, Phil. Can't wait. Me neither, mate. Really can't.
Yeah.
Seska says, hi, everyone. Did you see my little mention of you on my last video, Seska? If you didn't, quick, go check it out. Well, not right now. I'll give you a special little mention.
Cheeky mention.
Have you started the lost of your block work yet, Seska?
Yeah. The build.
The concrete's down. They've got the concrete down.
Been a good week for it from where I've been. Anyway, you should have had a good, if you've been, working at it, you should have had a good week at it because it's been good weather everywhere I've been. Dry and sunny and perfect for block work.
Yeah. Windy as well. It dries it out faster.
Gary W says, good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Evening, sir.
Becky says, hi, peeps.
Hey, Becky. How's your Yamatanishka getting on, girl?
I tell you what, mine's put some growth on. Jeez.
Fucking shit head, isn't he?
You're going to watch it now. Hang about, Rick and Vince. We're going to watch Daz. Technically, he's got two of them. And if he's staying to us, that is, has put some size on, and it's this big now.
Yeah, it is. It's been in the tunnel. I thought, Jesus Christ. I looked at it this morning. I thought, wow.
Mine's hid for a bit. I thought, oh, God damn it. You better be having a laugh. It's not disappeared. But then I stepped up onto the stone where I feed them, and out it come from behind pop. It's ganged up with all the rest of the little ones in there. But all doing fine, man. Looking good.
Yeah, I need to give Cassie a call. Cassie, I need to give you a call tomorrow. I need you to run me out to set this fucking Inkbird thing up. I can't work the instructions out. You got this little fucking, looks like a little flow chart. And yeah.
Technology, Vince, isn't it? You just ask your son, it'll be done in 5 minutes.
Hey, I managed to get the camera sorted out though.
I mean, well, it is kind of plug and play, isn't it? It's not.
All right, don't burst my bubble.
The hardest bit.
I was well chuffed that I managed to get all that hooked up myself.
I was just going to say the hardest bit screwing it to fascia board, isn't it? But oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I did screw it. I did screw it to the fascia board, and then I had to take it off the fascia board and screw it on the fucking window.
Yeah. So now you need a spotlight to go on said fascia board.
Yeah.
Or a magic man to come and fill it for you and sort it out, mate.
Well, you're quite welcome to come down there if you want.
A really easy way if you didn't want to do it. If you want to just fill it up, all you need is a piece of plastic and masking tape it to the back. 2-pack filler. Wait for it about 2 or 3 minutes to start going off, then plug the hole. Knock it back, sand it, nice and flat. Paint it over, mate. Job done. Take the plastic.
Sounds so easy.
Take the plastic off the back, and then that'll be a solid flush finish on the inside. There you go, mate.
Black duct tape, paint over the top. Job done.
Black duct tape. Yeah, body and scarf. Simon's Coipon says, evening, everybody. Good evening, Simon. I think that's a new name. Is it Simon's Coipon? I don't know if I've seen that one before. I don't recognise the logo. If it is, welcome, mate. Thanks very much for joining us. Vicky from Bubble and Fin says, yes, DT, 2 days to go. Yay, with an LOL and the double kisses. Liam Newell says, hi, guys. Hope you're all well. Thank you very much for joining us, Liam. It's the
How's your Yamo doing?
Liam, you almost got the winning coin, mate. You
did have yours, didn't he?
You were close, but you were real close. But never mind. Maybe next time. Jason Coy says, to all, how you doing, bud?
Evening, Sherry.
Evening. Shrewsbury's Coy says, good evening, campers. How you doing?
Yeah, Rich.
Evening.
We've got a Rich there with a wave. Scott, hope you're well. And we've got DT Carter says 50 watching, only 17 likes. Come on, people, please smash the thumbs up. Let's tell them.
Go on. Come on. You know you want it.
We've got 29 thumbs up now, and we've got 80 people watching. Just give us a thumbs up if you're coming back, if you're enjoying it. Help share the love a little bit. It will help us grow and for the channel to keep progressing.
Yeah.
More people, more thumbs. That's what we want. Scott Henderson says, all good, buddy. Mr. Lawson says, good evening, all. Hope everyone is well. And you too, Mick. Hope you're good, mate.
I'd be good, Mick.
We've got a not too bad from DT. Good to hear from Mick. Carlos says Mick, DT. Crafty Coy says WH. Aaron says good evening. Will Coy says evening all.
Evening, Will. He's done well on his shower, bless him.
Where do you get the time to watch all this YouTube, mate? I ain't got time for that.
Why not coming to the farm filming?
Yes. There you go.
It's amazing what you can get through at double speed.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but everything sounds like a chipmunk, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but I tell you what, some of you guys out there doing YouTube, you sound fucking hilarious on double speed. I'm telling you.
I've got to admit, I have whipped through a few of the conversation chats just here, and it does sound pretty funny when people playing at double speed. They do sound quite comical.
Yeah.
We've
So
got,
gives me a smile as well.
what we got there, Crafty Coy says, an ayahuasca. I'm guessing that might be your favourite fish, mate.
I tell you, they're nice, but you know,
I prefer a quiche.
is it an ayahuasca or is it a quiche sui? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
What would you call it, Ricky?
Quiche sui, mate. I would. If it's just another name,
Yeah,
to
I'd
give it another
a great
branding.
quiche suey.
Yeah, it's just a yellow shishui. I don't know.
Have you ever tried breeding for yellow shisui?
No, I spent years trying to make them redder. So
Kind of going backwards if you're doing that.
20 years ago, we probably did loads of them and we were dumping them all because they weren't good enough. But yeah, it's just times changed, didn't they? It's like Benny Toys and everything else. Mad.
Quiche sui, again, yellow budget.
Yeah, budgie.
No.
No, I do like quiche suey.
What's your opinion on golden corn?
Who, me?
Just out of curiosity.
I've good ones. I like the good ones are good, but
I like that a lot.
Unfortunately, it's one of those things that there's so few of them that a lot more of the offspring get sold, and some of them aren't so good. But the trouble is they take so long to develop. The good ones still don't look good when they're young. So
yeah, so it's a definite progressive variety.
Yeah,
It's what they grow and become what they are over a long period of time, don't they?
If you've got patience to get them big, and without seeing enough of them, how many of the hundreds? What do they look like? I mean, the good ones. You see the good ones, but I don't. Yeah, I mean, I've never grown one, so I don't know.
I've seen some exceptionally lovely looking ones, and then some others that are just shat, in my opinion. I mean, not trying to say that people's fish are shit, but ones when you see one that's that like that, you think, oh, wow, that's damn nice. And then you see the other that don't like it, you think, how's that one of them? It's not like it.
If you take the golden corn that was on the cover of Koi Talk magazine that had the Kanoku scaling, now if they were consistently coming out like that, then it would float my boat. But to get one of that quality looking like that in as of that picture in someone's pond in the UK is, unless you've got seriously stupid amounts of money, it's never going to be attainable.
No, because
that sort of one will never leave Japan. Not at the moment. Not with it being such a new variety.
The problem is, but some of them do, don't they? That's the thing. Some of the young ones are leaving because they don't develop that until they're older. So the breeder doesn't even know. You can go by body shape and skin quality, but you don't know which you're gonna. So you've got this a bit of a gamble, but some of them don't look good, and some of them look amazing. And I think that's the issue. You don't know. With a Kahaku, exactly most varieties you can see where you're going. Yeah. But with those, you're picking something that, might or might not. It's like a Komomru, isn't it? That's all white. The black might come. It might not. Yeah. You're going to have a Shira Muji or a nice. What are you going to have?
I used to know a gentleman, and he had a huge pond. I mean, this thing was 8 foot deep. and he'd spent thousands on his fish, and he'd actually gone over to Japan, and he bought this Sansai Matsukawabaki, and he showed me the picture of when he bought it. It was a beautiful black and white koi, absolutely beautiful. He put it in his pond. After 3 weeks, it went black and stayed that colour for the next 3 years. Didn't change back at all. It just stayed black. It just disappeared in his pond. The only time you'd see it is when it come up and breached the water.
That's
and he paid about 3.5, close to 4 grand for that.
Wow.
Yeah, who's at fault? Is that his fault for buying a fish that's going to change?
Well, you know what you're going to get, don't you, with a Matsukawabaki or a
common.
Yeah. You know it's going to be a fish of. I like them, mate. I really do. I've got one of each.
I like them. Yeah.
I really do like them because I like that fact that this year it looks like this, and it's not always a subtle change. Sometimes it's pretty dramatic.
It's quite drastic.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. And with the Ginrin as well, on Kawabaki, the Ginrin changes as well. I love that.
Yeah, it's that unpredictability of them that I like.
Yeah.
I've got to admit, it's probably second, third favourite fish out of what I've got.
Yeah.
Simon says, hey. Simon says you've managed, but what he's actually done, mate, this week, he is on the laptop. He's gone away from the mobile phone because we keep nailing his batteries. Keith Smith says, evening with a thumbs up to all. Right, this is one. My Kikasui has developed a red tancho style spot on its head over the winter. Would that then make it a tancho Kikasui?
No, because there's no something that are allowed to be called tancho.
Well, it's a Kikasui that would be yellow and white, wouldn't it?
No, Kikasui is red and white. It's basically a metallic kahaku, isn't it, Ricky? But if you've got like a tancho spot on the head and you still got other red patterning, as far as I'm aware, that then becomes a Muratan Kikasui. If you wanted to get technical on it.
The ones you've got, that's not Kikasui. What are them? The metallics.
They are Kikasui.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So, they start life orange, like a metallic goldy orange, and it gets darker. And I wouldn't go red, but cinnabar is probably that's the term.
So so then it will be a marathon, then, won't it?
If it's got it's unusual to develop good pattern at any point after an inch long or whatever. So
So the fact that it's now got a spot on its head, as long as it's the same colour as the rest of the colour on the body, then it'll be a marathon. If it's not, then it's just
secondary orange.
Secondary,
secondary.
So I would just start with a Soragoi that's got a brown circle on its head. What would that be?
If it's just on the head, it'd be tancho, wouldn't it?
Tancho Chiba.
If it's got it and it threw out the body the same colour, then it's marathon.
No, this is all. I'm only saying it because I've got one. It's all grey Soragoi with that brown circle on its head.
Then that's a Tancho Chiba then.
Tancho Chiba, if there's no one on a body.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury says, I love a shower. Me too. And I never had a shower up till the last couple of weeks, and I've got 5 of them. Well, not all mine. Some of them have to be moved on to the right corners. Yeah. I was surprised. I didn't think I'd still have that little tancho, but that one's still in there too, guys.
Susan made me count all the Ginrin that I've got just lately, and I've never usually been one for Ginrin fish, but at the moment, spread between the main pond, the Tosai tank, and the growing on tank, I've got fucking 9 Ginrin fish.
Oh, I love them. I'd have all Ginrin fish.
For me, I think the Ginrin on a fish,
it can make it or break it.
Yeah, but I do like Ginrin on a fish, mate. I do prefer fish with a Ginrin.
I don't think you can have too much Ginrin. I've got some that are just like they've been dipped in glitter, and I think they're fantastic.
But there's so many types of Ginrin scale, though, isn't there,
There
Ricky?
is, yeah. It's,
There is different
colours
sorts.
of it, different
I can't help you on a line, mate.
prismatic
Sorry.
effect kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Right.
Like
Just
pills.
bear 1 second, guys.
Sorry.
Go to my van, in my toolbox, front one, pop it open, front left corner, there's some thinners and a rag that'll fetch off. So, as long as it's still soft, yeah.
Molotov cocktail.
Yeah, probably.
Who's
You don't want to be putting thinners on the soft bit, mate.
He's got expanding foam on his hands, though.
Oh,
The other solution is gloves, boys. Gloves, mate, next time.
I bet his hands are black. You can't get that.
He's going to come back now going, my hands are burning. Kids. Sorry. There we go. Right. So if any of you ever wants to know how to get expanding foam off their hands, standard thinners will fetch you off.
Oh, better, mate. Use some fucking gloves.
Yeah, just don't get it on your hands in first place. That's the better way.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it's got a pointy nozzle for. To keep it away from your hands.
It's got a mind of its own, though, Vince.
No, you got to start poking it in holes, haven't you?
Have you seen the two guys driving down the motorway, down the M1 in the van, in the transit van? They're driving down, at the beginning of the video, they're driving down the van talking to each other. Next thing you know, they're in services, and the dashboard is windscreen and everything, them, the hair, the faces, the whole lot. They've had a tin of expanded foam on dash, and because it's red up, tin's just gone, boom! Exploded, and they're literally covered in it everywhere. That's well funny, man. Gotta have a look at that. It's on YouTube. It's funny as hell.
You'd have to shave all your hair off to get rid of that.
Oh, mate, they go. It's a bit like that woman, didn't you? See that one in the States where she did? She was washing her hair with something, and she super glued her hands to her head. It was super glue she was washing her hair with. She put it on, give it this, and it set on her head.
See, like I keep telling you guys, you can't teach stupid, mate.
There's some good stuff online, isn't there? Some stuff like that makes me cry with laughter. It's brilliant.
Anyway, back to fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do wrong. Simon, who's going to the TB opening this weekend? Wrong show, mate. That's Friday nights. Not me. I'm going to Adam Byers.
We've got a road trip.
Road trip, exactly.
Will's Koi says Chagoy has to be the friendliest koi. Oh, the greediest koi, mate. And it's so friendly because it's greedy. Is it? What do you reckon? What do you reckon?
I'd say
That's greedy or friendly?
Yeah. Greedy.
Greedy. Vince?
I just say greedy in its genetics.
Greedy and genetics. Rick, what do you reckon? Greedy or friendly?
It's both, but it's had the reactions bred out of it. They don't react.
Oh,
to
yeah, you were
predators.
saying it for the week, weren't you? So
They're a nightmare.
they just sit there and give themselves up.
Yeah, they haven't got the flight instinct. It's sort of been bred out. The friendliest ones, and they're just stupid, friendly.
They're the
greedy.
first ones nailed by the errands, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've got fucking Macashies like that. I
Yeah.
can just pick it up out of the water.
Yeah. I had a lovely Ginrin Yamabuki, and it was so friendly. It just you could keep jumping out the water. And it was like popping its head out to have a look. And then one day it wasn't there anymore. Erin nailed it. Yeah, my mum was devastated. She looked at that fish.
Mr. Tropical Guy has torn himself away from the PlayStation and Almaraz. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well with her. Little way. How you doing, bud? How you good, mate?
Evening, Mike.
Mr. T.
Pinko. Other day we've got a little WhatsApp group chat. A WhatsApp group chat, and here comes a message from Mike, it's Tropical Koi, and Dave, DT Koi. And all of a sudden he gets this little morning Pinko, and I thought, what the fuck? What the hell is this about? And I'm reading through messages, driving, thinking, sat there in the driver's seat thinking, what the hell are these two talking about? What's all this Pinko crap? And there's a little video between him and then Dave with his mask on and everything else. But God, it did make me laugh. Listening to reading some of the stuff that these lot put in. And I've switched my phone off this week, so you can't sit there and make me laugh yet. Cashy says, at Simon's Koi Pond, I'll be there, mate. Looking forward to it. There we go.
Oh.
What the fuck is a shimmers? A shim? A
Shimmy.
Shimmy.
Shimmy. little black dot.
Yeah.
Little, well, yeah, it's a little dance your grandma used to do. It's a little black mark that you sometimes get coming up on your koi in and around its pattern that it shouldn't have.
Usually on a Kahaku, Sankey,
Chagoi, the Sagi.
Shagoi.
All of them.
Yeah.
Shimmy says Will's koi, and DT says, but is shimmy a big problem though? Well, no, not really. If you like an ugly koi, covered in
Depends
it.
how many shimmies you get on.
If you like freckles,
In them.
no, I mean, I suppose it's the same as having freckles on your face, or that type of thing. Is it? No, really, it's not. Is it? It's no detriment to the fish whatsoever at all.
Can you remove them though, Gav?
You can remove them, but whether or not some people think you should, you can. I've done it.
I don't agree with it. No.
Belt sander?
Bit of angle grinder, bit of 40 grit. You can, and yeah, I have done so. But
The only time I ever take a blade to a koi is if it needs bad skin or bad stuff cutting away. Other than that, nothing sharp goes near a koi as far as I'm concerned in that respect.
Yeah, it kind of goes
They
against
are
the
what they are. What they are,
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on knife work on koi, Ricky?
The level we do, it's not necessary, but yeah, it's common practice in higher end stuff, secondary he shimmies, but generally those problems will resurface. So you're making something more sellable for a short window, or more pretty for a short window, for a show or for selling. But it's there, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's gonna have. Yeah,
I don't agree with it. I just wanted to know whether or not it would.
Yeah, you can do a lot of work with cutting out skin and whatever, and
that was the thing. All I did was scrape this, just tiny little scrape across the surface, and it come off in what I would have said was just slightly below the slime coat, and it was gone.
Yeah, that's probably an Argylus.
Never actually.
Water house, fish house.
Never actually removed anything off the actual scale itself, but I did put a little bit of protection treatment over the top to make sure, and when that had gone, it completely gone. So,
yeah, they're normally more deep seated, and they're there. Yeah.
Nail varnish, Gaz, get the right colour and just touch it out.
Well, that's it happens, mate. I've got
See, the thing is, if you don't know what you're doing as well, and you end up damaging the scale pocket, you've scarred your fish for life. Then.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't nowhere near that depth of it. It was literally just a quick, just two.
No, I'm talking about people that would, and it's the same with.
I don't even like the idea of pulling a scale out, to be fair.
Pulling scales out. Now, that scale is in a pocket, and if it's not detached and you pull it out, it pulls some of that pocket with it. And then because you've pulled away that pocket, you've damaged it. Therefore, the scale won't grow back because you've damaged the scale pocket.
Yeah, it's like pulling your finger out.
When you end up with a scar because the scale doesn't grow back, and that's why you end up with the scar.
Yeah.
Or the scale grows back a different colour.
Well, there's that one as well.
That's what would be my worry, if it come back with actually no pigmentation there anymore and come back like a plain coloured scale, not.
Yeah.
Now then, I've got a question for you. How long does it actually take that if a fish has lost a scale, as I'm saying naturally, as natural as possible, i.e. you've netted one out and you've knocked a scale? How long does it take for that scale to grow back, if it does?
It depends on the age of the fish and the temperature it's kept at.
Right, let's say knee size and whatever it is outside.
Years, quite a long time.
Yeah,
quite a long time. But they will normally, if it's not done any damage, normally grow back.
They grow regenerated scales, but they tend to be different in their makeup. So you don't get the same scale. The ring and the color so you quite often will find it go a slightly different color, and it won't be as neat and regular as the other scales. So it just fill in a hole. So Yeah.
I think back end of last year, my Benny Ginger's lost one. It certainly looks like, but I don't want to take it out and just have a look to see if it's got a scale missing. But it certainly looks like there's a little change. I mean, I might just get an airbrush out and. That's a joke, obviously. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could put it back in there though. But it just looks like there's one that looks like it might have either changed colour slightly, which I suppose it could have done, or it's lost one. But I don't want to take it out just for that to find out. It is what it is. It's never going to go to a show, so to me it doesn't really matter. But it was nice. It's a nice fish. It'll still be staying regardless. Let's see what we've got. That's going to be an interesting cross from the fish that we spoke about, which will be hopefully, in my theory, which will make the Benny Ginger with floating sumi, man. That'd be wicked. Floating Benny, sorry. Yeah, be nice. That'd be a nice fish. That.
It's been a hot day, hasn't it, guys?
Mate, you won't believe the crap I've been doing today. No, I'm not going to say that. I spent a long time doing a lot of silicon work. That's all I'll say. I nearly said I spent all my day on my hands and knees.
No comment.
It's been an interesting day, that's all I'll say. Jake says Gutted was hoping for the lemon Harawaki spawn.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
Well,
There it is, mate. They should have been with more people to vote for them. You should have encouraged your friends to come along and vote the one that you wanted.
yeah.
They didn't have to be a subscriber to place a vote. Anybody could have voted on it, I think.
No.
You should do what Mr. Tropical Koi does whenever there's a poll. He gets like half a family to vote for it as well. It's going to bump it up what he wants. Hey, mate. We can't reply because I can't see it. JP Watergarden says, sorry, a bit late. EDF. Oh, no, EDF cut electricity running off a generator. Crap, mate. Up London, everything's all right, bud.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for you, bud. Fingers crossed.
Shit, bird.
Tokyo One says, hello, lads. You all good? We hope you're well. And then we've got Sophie. Is that right?
Yep.
Evening,
With
Sophie.
another wave. Thank you very much for joining us. There's another new name.
No, Sophie's joined us a couple of times, if you remember rightly. Sophie and her dad.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I just didn't recognise the stars of it, but the side of it. Mr. Tropical Koi says, dibs, first buying. Damn it. DT, second dibs, laughed my ass off.
Well, yeah, I've beaten the dibs on the spawning already, so.
I don't want to have to rewind it, but I technically do believe I was the first one to say dibs, so you would have to be second dibs and first dibs, Dave.
But I'd already dibsed it when Rick told me about it.
If it's not heard in front of the group of the GKP, mate,
It doesn't count.
You heard us all doing it at Rick's. We all did it on fish that we liked. Rick heard it. I mean,
It's
when
the
they
law.
gotta go, they gotta go. It's the law. It's got to be heard. It's got to be witnessed. Oh, you've at least got to send a text saying, I dibs this, guys, so that we've got some record of it, Vince. So, sorry, mate. We're all mad as hatters. Right. Well, I'll come back to a few more of these comments. We've got loads more people saying hi. Ilsley, evening all from Sofa. DT says evening. Kashi says Ilsley. DT says Haribo's as snacks. God damn you, Dave. The Tim's empty,
It's empty.
It's empty. Need to order a big bag. Skeggy did step in with a boom and he says he's cream crackered. Casey with a thumbs up. Cheers, Vince from Scott. Mr. Tropical Koi says Gaz might explain in a min. Gaz might explain in a min. Might explain what in a min. Oh, yeah. Colorado says good evening, people. Because he knows I'm miles behind over his time on comments, but sorry. Man, look at them all, man. There's tons and tons of them. And we haven't even got to a single one. Right. What I will say, if anybody has got any questions they would like to ask any of us this evening, if you could put the questions in capital letters for me, and that way then it's easier for me to pick them up as we're travelling through the mass that is. I don't know how everybody else has ever kept up with all these, but I am, seriously. There's tons. Hi, Grandpapa Jeff. Jeff Lee says, evening Vince, DISCO. We are.
Usually I put it in, don't I?
Need to come up with some more for the chat, mate, for the first thing in the morning to keep doing Mike's editing. I need to get some more that's going to stick in his head. We definitely need to. And if anybody's wondering,
MP's gay. No.
why am PK?
No. That's what you're singing. It's not YMCA. It's my MP's gay.
Is he now?
Vince the Twisted One, the GKP at no count accepts any liability.
Just in case. Just in case. You never know. I'm not getting that one. Oh, God. Right, let's go with the first question. The first questions that we did get. Come on. Go on, PC. Catch up. Your channel. Here we go. We did have a couple. New Forest Koi says, how old are the koi we buy? Question. Seems simple, but causes massive confusion. And I've got to admit, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Can you elaborate, please, Ricky?
Couple of sides to it, to be fair. We all talk about koi as in age, as in years, as in time, but they develop with the temperature of the water. So if it's called degree days. So for example, a koi that's raised at 28 degrees for 3 years is technically about 3 times older than a koi that's grown in this country at ambient temperatures. They'll both be 3 years old. One will be 3 years much more advanced, should we say? It's so we use degree days to work out. I'll work out. I wrote some bits down for this because here we go.
Science.
I knew my lack of sleep and beer was going to get to me. So, for example, like a male koi will mature at about 10,000 degree days. It will become sexually mature. A koi raised at 28 degrees will be mature at 12 months old. It will start to produce milk and become a sexually mature male.
wow.
In this country, our ambient temperature is 11 degrees. That's what, if you throughout a whole year, if you've got a pond that's got no polytunnel, no heating, it would actually take 3 years for that male to become sexually mature. So you've got a completely, so someone says, oh, my jumbo tosai is so big, but actually that means nothing. It depends what temperature has been raised at, would actually have. So yeah, the time scale, not only does everyone get the meaning of tosai mixed up with year-old fish, actually it should be fish that are in their first year, so less than a year old. So that confuses people. So all the dealers selling jumbo tosai in August, September, they're not tosai anymore. They're actually small nisai. That whole terminology confuses people. But the reality is, koi don't age equally. It's all to do with the water temperature. Water temperature is everything to how they grow, sexually mature, age, and ultimately die. It's all to do with the temperature they're raised at. You hear quite often people banding around, oh, there's 200-year-old koi in Japan. That, yeah, there is. And it's in very, very cold water, spring-fed water, that it's been kept cold for its entire life. So it's developed very slowly and lived for a very long time. Obviously, that's not economical to grow fish, but yeah. So the temperature is, when you ask how old is a fish, actually that has very, very little relevance. It's how how has it been raised, what temperatures has it been raised at for what length of time, as to what you're actually buying or whatever, or what age that fish is. It's not, once you understand the degree day thing, it's quite simple. But yeah, the temperature rules everything about how they grow, develop, mature, everything about them. So yeah, it's
So if a fish was kept in temperature for its first year, so it's still toe-side, and then it goes from that dealer to Joe Soap like me, and I put it into my pond at 13 degrees, will that actually stunt its growth pattern because of the jump back in temperature, even though it had been acclimatized and so forth and so on? Will that actually stunt the growth that started? Can you see what I mean? Because of that,
it wouldn't grow at that temperature full stop. But obviously, when you bring the temperature up, it will carry on growing again. But you've got a window in the koi's life when, if you can run them, the reality is young fish in the first year, the fastest growth's at around 30 degrees. No one ever talks about growing fish at 30 degrees. That is when you will get maximum growth. And as they age, you need to wind the temperature back, because it becomes more and more dangerous to them the higher the temperature is. So to grow a fish.
So technically speaking, as I've said personally, me, I don't think that fish should be force grown. Everybody said, well, they're not being forced, but raised temperatures increases the fish's metabolism, and they feed more, they grow more. And now what you're saying there is they age more. So technically, you are reducing the lifespan of your fish by keeping it at warmer temperatures, growing it faster, because it's aging quicker.
Good point. But in an ideal world, you'd grow it for its first year say 30 degrees, and its second year at 26 degrees, and its third year at 24 degrees, to get maximum growth, to get the fish to the point where then you can wind the temperature down and enjoy it for 100 years or whatever. You don't.
Yeah.
If you're going to keep it hot at first, so some of the countries like Israel or Thailand, where you've got very high temperatures and those fish are constantly at high temperatures, they will ultimately grow, mature, and die much, much faster than a fish in this country kept at much colder temperatures. There's no right or wrong. It's just, I don't think it's ever forcing fish. If you give them 30 degrees and a really good environment, that's not forcing it. It will grow a centimetre a week. No problem. That's what.
Yeah, definitely. I proved that.
Can you grow them too fast and sort of stretch them out too much and destroy the colour?
Not really, no. It depends on the light levels. That's the trouble. A lot of people in this, if you grow them very fast in this country, you generally have to put them in an environment through the winter where they're not getting the natural light. And yes, you will destroy them. But the metabolism is the same. So the fish that's growing a centimetre a week in ideal conditions, its pigmentation will grow equivalent. Everything will grow accordingly. But when you change, if you're going to heat them and not give them the natural light or the right food, then yes, you will start to damage the pigment and end up with very weak or totally blow the benny off them. You'll end up with
washed out.
No good. But if you're giving a fish 30 degrees with the right amount of UV light, the right type of food, it will grow a centimetre a week, and its colour will look pretty much banging. Not at its absolute peak, but it will still look really good. So
for those that do grow inside, what sort of lighting would you recommend that they used to be able to give the koi the best that they can?
As much as natural sunlight as you can get through the winter, and then top it up if you can with either sodium lights or something that will naturally mimic sunlight as if you're growing plants indoors. Because if you grow them in a shed with no natural light, and you run them at 27 degrees and they grow from 4 inches to 18 inches over winter, those fish are going to look pretty ropey when they come out. Sometimes you can fix it, sometimes you can't, depending on how far There's so many things that will play a part. But yeah, it's temperature is king when they're small. Depending on what you want to do. Obviously, if we want to mature a fish, if we've got a young fish we want to use as a parent fish, we will stick it in the hottest possible environment we've got, and it will mature faster. So we can use a female at 2 years old. Whereas if that fish goes out to our natural mud ponds, it would take us 4 or 5 years to get that fish to be usable. And it's just temperature. You're just manipulating as much as you can. Yeah, the metabolic rate of the fish. So
if you've got a heat to grow on,
what happens if you sorry, Daz, go on.
I say if you've got a heat to grow on and you're growing fish through the winter, I suppose grow lights would be probably your best bet then, because they
giving you ultraviolet. You need the ultraviolet light, don't you?
Yeah, but are you gonna? Do you go metal halide or do you go high pressure sodium?
Grow yeah.
Can you see what I mean? Because
whatever you can afford to do.
It's used for vegetative growth. I know that. And high pressure sodium lights are then used for flowering and fruiting and that sort of thing. So which one is it? Do you take the blue one or the orange one, or do you mix the both?
You probably would have to mimic real sunlight. You probably have to mimic both. The thing that you probably want to do is if you get as much natural light into that.
Yeah.
So even in the winter, we do get.
There's the same type of one you can use for reptiles, can't there? Because that is natural sunlight. That is to imitate natural sunlight, so that they shed the skins.
They produce UVB rays.
So, but you're going into a whole world of another discussion with. Just as on the off, we tried infrared lighting a few years back, or a lot of years back. So to like they do with pigs, to heat the animal, but not the water.
Right.
So you can literally run the infrared lights over the tank, so you're heating the koi, but not the water. So it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It wasn't as successful as, but it did work to a degree. So you can, there's lots of different things you can do. But yeah, ultimately, if you're buying a Tosai or a Nisai or whatever, and you don't know, it's only 25 centimeters at Nisai, it's tiny. But actually, if that's been grown at 12, 15 degrees, that's standard. If that fish has been at 25, 30 degrees, it's not great. It's never going to grow. It's also a fish that's not going to grow. And if you don't know that history, how do you make a fair judgment on what you're buying or, what you're dealing with?
Yeah.
Good point, actually.
It is a minefield, really, isn't it?
Well, that's not at all really where I thought that question was going to go. I thought you might, Tosai is X amount of months old, really, or Nisai, and I didn't expect that to be that. So they literally, depending on what temperature they've been kept at and grown on it, depends on how old they are, for however long you've been doing it. So so for somebody that's got a pond out there and they think, I'm going to keep my pond at 24 degrees all year round.
Great. Well, that to be fair, the koi will love that, and they will flourish and grow like if you feed them properly and have the filtration, they will grow like crazy. But then, as they get to the bigger sizes, they'll get to a point where they'll see you've aged them quicker, and you'll see that deterioration.
So ideally, then, when they've got them to the sizes that they're happy with, they really need to be lowering those temperatures to a more stable temperature, maybe 14 degrees, or I'm not saying that is the right temperature or whatever, to keep them at optimum
longevity
for to produce a nice fish to look at for many, many years.
Yeah.
In an ideal world, you'd have 6 ponds, and you'd put your Tosai in the first one, let's say at 30 degrees, and then each pond would progressively become cooler. But you still need the natural light and the feeding regime and everything else to get the maximum out of it. But that's the only way you'll get fish to 80, 90 centimeter that's the only way of doing it. You're not going to do that by keeping them in our ambient temperatures.
Yeah.
You just won't get the growth. The growing window we have is too small, and it just doesn't work.
Unless you can wait for your fish for 200 years.
Even then, you lose your window. But yeah,
Patience.
So, do you think that they do need a wintering?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Well, to spawn they would, wouldn't they?
No. So again, temperature. We can get we can spawn a female, and we can put it into an environment where it takes about 60 days, and we can have it ready to spawn again. So technically, we could spawn one female 3 times in a season, or not at all. They'll carry the eggs for years. That's not a problem. But I think as they get older, perhaps, you do want a wind down and a bit of a push. But in reality, they don't like the cold. So if you kept them at 24 degrees all the time, those fish will be buzzing and growing and feeding all the time. The issue comes, let's say, the light levels in this country aren't good enough in the winter to keep growing them and keep them looking good. So you'll end up with, if you kept them growing, Benny would start to stretch, and they won't look their best because they're not getting equivalent light for the amount of growth they're doing. They're doing summer's growth in 4 or 5 hours daylight. It doesn't stack up.
Do you not think that being kept at 24, 26 degrees, 365 days a year, do you not think that contributes to egg-bound females?
Not that I've seen. We've had fish that will carry eggs for, I've had a particular cat, 10 years it was ready to spawn until the day you choose to spawn it, and not an issue. I think egg-bound fish is, more
health
dietary. There's so many things that can cause problems. If you've got ideal water conditions and good fish, I think you could keep them at 24, 26 degrees their whole life, but their life will be shorter than if you kept them at 12 degrees.
Right,
but they like to be, well, I say that you keep them at 12 degrees, they might well die very quickly because they just don't like it. That's part and parcel.
Keith's asked a question. He's put then, so how do wild carp get so big? And I know you have a bit to do with wild carp as well.
You do grow carp, yeah.
How does a wild carp grow as big as what they do then in such a short period of time? Because that's natural growth.
Yeah, well, they're genetically stronger. So that they'll grow much, much faster than any koi anyway. They're they are the baseline for those kind of things. The size of the fish is partially length. Obviously, we always judge koi on sort of length, but wild carp is weight. So we've got 40
they don't
pound
necessarily
carp.
need to be 80 cm, do they? They just want them to be 60, 70, 80 plus pounds. I'm surprised how big the Guinness, the world record is. What was it? 104 pounds?
100, about 110 pound in Europe, in Hungary.
Yeah.
They're not in a very big lake there.
But when you look at the fish that are that sort of size, though, they do look out of proportion.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah. They kind of look obese, don't they?
Yeah, they got very small heads, massive shoulders, huge belly. They're huge fish.
Good on them.
They're fed huge amounts, and they will convert. A carp will convert. Its metabolism is better, so it will convert food better, put on body mass better than a koi will at a lower temperature. So you can grow a ghost carp a lot easier at a lower temperature than you can grow a showa or a kahaku. If you had a normal carp and you gave it to Narita and said, "How big can you get this?" It would be off the scale. It would be beyond the world record in their facilities because they're used to growing things that don't want to grow so well, really well. You give them something that's going to grow, it's going to turn into a whale.
Yeah,
definitely.
So again, less patterns less ginrin and all the rest of it, all the kind of stuff that they've got less to put into. So literally just pile it on the bulk, aren't they? Rather than putting it all into the fancy patterns and everything else that we've got that they don't need to develop. Vicky from Bubble of Fins has asked a question. If possible, could Rick explain about the colour layers in scales? Do you know anything about such?
Only to the point that obviously in a normal scaled koi, you've got the pigmentation through the skin and the scale so that you get a much thicker pigmentation, which gives when they're younger, it's not such a defined pattern. So the Deutz fish look really defined and sharp, but they never make good big fish because generally that pattern doesn't hold on. Whereas when you've got it through and it's built in the genetics through the skin and the scale, a much thicker pattern, the longevity is much better. And when the fish gets bigger, it's a much better example of what you're trying to achieve. So it's a multiple with a normal scaled koi. It's almost 3D. You can see it, especially when they're younger. The edge of the pattern where it comes into the flesh. So you can see it coming, and it might be one scale deep on the front of the pattern, but it's a 3D effect. And as the fish grows, that sharpens up as the scales get thicker. You then only see the sharper edge of the pattern. So when it's 80, 90 centimeters, it looks pretty spectacular if you've got a good one. Whereas a Deutz fish, you're just looking at the pigment in the skin. So it's there or it's not, and it's a very sharp line. And then as those fish get bigger, they become blurred, break down. They haven't got the same level of pigment throughout the thickness of the tissue.
A bit like tattoos, really.
Very.
I think that the question relates to the pigmentations of colours in A scale, as in several colours within A scale. Is there more? I know that Vicky's looked into it a little bit when we were talking about this ourselves in this Discord chat overnight about, like in a beta, they've got several layers of colours in each scale individually. And she's done a little bit of research into it, but can't find much about it as to whether or not koi have the same kind of thing. But she's found that there are colours in there, which is normally yellow, black, and red. And all colours are pretty much, all the colours that we see on a koi are pretty much made up from those three colours.
So you have those colours obviously in it, the scale.
That's what I thought too, Vince. It's a bit.
But you also could have it in different parts of the scale. So when you imagine like the Robin on a Garomo, where it's on the outer edge of the scale and not in the heart of the scale, or the Fukrin where it's not in the skin but it's in the scale. So a Matsuba would have the black pigment in the scale but not in the skin. So the skin might be orange or yellow or red, has no black pigment in the skin, but the scale has the black pigment. So you get the pine cone effect. And you can layer up colours. Goshki have got 5 colours. That's where they started from in their makeup. So in a lot of the scales, you will have black, blue, red, all layered up in there, which can make, when it's good, it can make them spectacular. And when it's bad, it can make a complete mess.
Yeah, same with the Gorman.
Yeah, there's no real... The research that's done into it is so limited that it is difficult to find factual information. You can find lots of stuff that says, this colour's there and that's that, but until you do it yourself and learn how it builds and where it comes from. And again, you go into tropicals and marine fish, you're going into a whole
different kind of thing. But the scale that they've got them in there is tons and tons of layers of them in there, especially in like your tropicals. Is it what's the word? Is it iridescence? No.
Iridescence
colorations that you've got, which are like petrol colours, aren't they? Which is nearly all the damn colours in there. They've got so many different layers with them. It's nuts, unreal. But she was just interested to how much or how many layers that you. So, for example, there you go. We did say it, but 100% sure. I wasn't 100% sure anyway. So the Garomo, 5 coloured fish. The Goshki, 5 coloured fish.
Yeah.
Technically, all them scales contain all 5 colours in.
within the fish at some point, whether it's the skin or the scale, and obviously when you selective breed, you're choosing those that have got it in one or the other to create the pattern.
So you're going to line breed it
again. So the red will only be on top of the black in the scale and not on the skin. So you start getting, that's how you get, let's say, floating Benny.
Yeah.
You've got different, so you're selectively breeding those that are carrying the genetics that layer certain colours together and don't express other colours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a minefield. We've done so many different spawnings over the years where you think you know what's going to happen. You know the parents, you know the grandparents, and then actually the offspring, the phenotype, what they show in their genetics isn't what they're carrying in their genes. It's what they're showing in their genes. And it's, you think, well, hang on. Why it wasn't expected.
Why am I getting that colour all of a sudden?
Yeah. So, I mean, for example, I mean, I remember we bred two Sankeys together and got some Ginrin Kahakus. So there's one Ginrin Sankey parent, one normal Sankey. Got some Ginrin Kahaku offspring from them, kept them, knowing that all the grandparents, and we actually bred them brother sister, so we know the grandparents of both Sankeys, thinking that we'll get some Ginrin Sankeys back from them. Not a speck of black amongst the offspring, the entire lot of Kahaku. And you're thinking, well, all of the grandparents have got black. Why is none of that coming back? It's in their genes, it's in their genetics, but actually it's recessive. So it's cheap. There's always one in there.
Yeah. You've got a thank you there from Vicky from Bubble and Fins, mate. Nice one. So you was right. They do. Awesome. Right then, next question. Let's see what. Hang about. There was one mention there. Somebody did put. There's loads of people, guys. If I've missed all your hellos and your highs and everything else, I apologise. But I'm trying to see if we can. Frankly, we got Frankly Coy says, "Evening Coy Squad. Thank you very much for joining us, mate." Yorkshire Coy's jumped in as well. We've also got Irish Geordie Coy who says, "All right, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Never late, mate. As long as you're here, that's good for me, boy." There was one. There you go. Sneak about. You sneaked in. LED grow lights with UV question, as you're saying there for the pigmentation on the fish. Would that LED grow lights with
trial and error?
I reckon if they're dual spectrum, because then you're going, if you're using a dual spectrum light, you're getting the best of both. You're getting a mixture of the metal halide and high pressure sodium, and that's what you're looking at on a grow light. Unless you just specifically want the light to keep in a vegetative state, so therefore you're looking at a blue-white light for that. And then when you go into your winter, where you go into your flowering stage and your fruiting stage, then you're looking for a high pressure sodium light, which is like a reddy orangey colour. So if you go for a dual spectrum, you get a mixture of both. So you're getting the blue and the red light. So if you was going to go that route, then you'd go for a dual spectrum bulb.
There you go.
Okay. So there you go. Next one, Tokyo One says, "Has anyone ever used barley straw? And if so, what do you think?"
I've tried it. With no effect whatsoever.
Well, apparently it's supposed to get rid of algae in it.
It does. Technically, it does work. But if you leave it long enough,
I've seen it when they put it in, like carp lakes, for example, anywhere where they've got blue-green algae. That's one of the first things they do. They drop great big bales in there, don't they? To try.
You just put a lot in though.
Yeah. But the scale of what you're talking, like our Farmers Dam, which is one of my local waters down the road, they got blue-green algae in there, and they dropped, I think, like 7 or 8, maybe 10 bales in there. And we're talking, full-size straw bales.
Yeah, but you have to wait for such a period of time.
Long time.
To start breaking down, because when it starts breaking down, it releases the enzymes.
Yeah, they left it in there for months and months and months to try to solve the problem. And I don't know whether or not it ever did, but I know that the amount that if you were trying to do it in your pond, I can't see a small little bundle in a corner of a Bagley pond doing anything other than
I
taking
can't, but there is people out there that swear by them, though, mate.
Maybe
What do
their
you
water
reckon?
will sort itself on its own anyway.
Well, that's
Have you
it.
ever chucked straw in your ponds?
I mean, the other thing is, what about dye? Because I see a lot of the carp lakes, they put like a bluey dye in the water, don't they? To sort of blank out the light for the algae.
Yeah, it was quite common, for clearing lakes and whatever. But again, a lot of the water parks do it where you've got inflatable water parks and they want to keep the water looking nice. So they dye it blue. Looks lovely. It's chemical warfare, really, isn't it? It's inexpensive. You keep adding it. I don't. Yeah.
I know there's a lot of them. It's very prevalent. It's very well used in America. I know that, the old dyes in ponds and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, barley straw in a court. I don't. Try it.
Yeah.
So you've never had any results with it then?
No.
That's a good enough answer for me. I'll do. Thanks. Try it. Yeah.
Everything's got to come together for it to work properly, I think, with barley straw.
I think in your average pond, you'd have to have such a large bale of it in there to do something. You'd have to be in there for that long. And I think you'd be better off just doing a partial water change every day for a week.
Yeah.
We'll fail in that. Chuck some blanket answer in there.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question, Tokyo One. It's like you can try it.
It might work. It might not.
Blanket answer will work.
What about the liquid versions of it?
Never. Yeah.
You could try it. We'll give you that one as well.
Snake oil.
So that good then. Yeah. Mr. Tate joined us and said, "Evening all. Good evening all. Thank you very much for joining us. Feel free to jump on, mate, if you want. I can stick a comment in and post a link up there for everybody. In fact, I'll stick it in if anybody would like to, and I'll pin it to the top. Whoa, got that move quick. Pin message. There we go. Yorkshire Koi. How long did it take Gaz to reach 1K subs? Well, technically, mate, if you look at my first video that I dropped, it says 3 years ago, but it had naff all to do. Well, no, actually, first video I put out was my pond build, and then the videos after that, 12 months later, were gaming, not to do with koi related. So technically, mate, just over 12 months.
Okay. Longer.
He did well, but maybe 15, 16 months ish thereabouts. Because I think, to be honest, when I first put my first video out, the only subscribers I had were family. So I don't really count. It's not the same. But yeah, 14, 15 months ish, mate, thereabouts, I think. But my channel does say that my first videos have been out for a long, long time, but they were put out just because I was watching other people's pond builds and such and thought, ooh, I'll put my pond build on. And my first video is absolute garbage. Several after it were garbage too. But probably still are. Mr. Topical says, hi, Mr. Tate. Say again, mate.
What are you up to now? Is it about 1,400?
8 away from 2K.
Vince is, yeah. 1,150 at present, mate. That's what we're at.
Oh, hey.
Double it by next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if it keeps growing, yeah, jobs are good. It'd be nice if it does.
You need some decent
definitely.
guests.
Need some more trips down to New Forest Koi.
Yes.
Or a summer job. A summer job. Wonder if my boss will give me 3 months relief. I'll just come pitch a tent down there.
I'm sure he will.
I can bring a dog for you to train.
Okay.
Or one that we can teach to swim. So yeah, there you go, Mr. Yorkshire Koi. Thereabouts 14, 15 months ish.
Which is bloody good going.
Not too
Brilliant,
bad.
yeah. So on the lighting front, there's something that perhaps no one ever even thinks about, but generally larger koi grow better in the back end of the season. So the photo period, when the light levels go from 12 hours or 18 hours, whatever, in the height of summer, and they start decreasing,
Yep.
larger carp tend to start growing faster at that point.
I've
So I don't
noticed
know
that in my pond.
of anyone that manipulates the light, so you can actually create that growing window by changing your photo period of your pond, so you can increase the light earlier and then decrease it for a longer period to give yourself a much longer growing window for those larger fish, by falling the photo period, as they call it, the day length, giving them a much longer autumnal period where you can keep the temperatures higher but drop the day length. And you could then, so for people that want to grow fish big and they start struggling as they get to 60, 70, there's a definite growth window to do with like the hormones they release as the light levels drop increases the way they metabolize food and actually grow. So that's something I've never known anyone really do, but it's something that with the right setup,
worth a tinker with.
Yeah, certainly. Something that if you can, increase the light, like I say earlier, with some artificial lighting, then you can run a much longer window of
Got
decrease.
these cogs turning now tonight, I'm telling you.
So those in the growing competition, get them to midsummer now. Yeah, and you can massively change the way they perform.
I want to clarify something in the growing competition. It's not about size, is it?
No.
Yes. There you go.
It has to grow a bit somewhere.
It has to grow a bit, but it's overall general quality and development.
Yeah.
So Daz, that's thrown your theory out the window using your slightly bigger one to go, mine's that big now.
Damn it.
But I am thinking about giving me mate a call and getting me a high pressure sodium light above the growing on tank from my Yamato Nishiki.
Well, it'd be good. It'd be good for the extra light, mate,
going on here.
because remember, well, you've seen the difference in the fish that I got from you to what it is now, with having kept inside. That did make it a big difference, didn't it? Its pattern and its change of what it's changed into. So yeah, you can see the difference, can't you? So maybe you might be able to see what's coming before you sell them. Sorry, that was another kicking guts.
Shithead.
Jig says the chemicals it produces when decomposing is happening is hydrogen peroxide. Yeah. So right. So basically,
bleach.
Decomposing. Yeah, just bleaches your water then, pretty much.
You can put hydrogen peroxide in your pond to kill blanket weed as well, apparently.
No, don't fucking work.
Runs it.
Have you tried it? He tried it with the remaining part of the bottle of his Just for Men, didn't you, Vince? I'm going to get to... Sorry, mate. But you do keep calling me grey.
It's not my fault you look like you've been standing every day.
You look just as bad after you've been using an angle grind over there, mate. You look greater than I did on that particular day.
Yeah, covered in fucking bits of plastic pipe.
Peter's Puddle, Koi and Goldfish says, "Evening, guys, and thanks, Skeggy Koi, for sorting the liner today." Pete, does that mean that, is that the liner for the new big, the second pond you're making, mate, or are you relining the new one, the smaller one? If it isn't, and you're getting on with the new one, mate, sweet, happy days. That's only because I know Pete and what he's on with. He's got a pond build which he's been doing and trying to get on. Let us know, mate, in comments, bud. That'd be interesting. How about blanket answer versus resolve? To me, mate, I've never used anything. I've never used anything else other than blanket answer, and to me, that's exactly what it says. It is the answer. It works.
Yeah.
So I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
something
accurate.
else that might
Why
not.
change? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only one we use, to be fair.
Yeah.
It does work good. It's good.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
But again, I know I've said this a couple of times. I do like the fact that, excuse me, that you can do a partial treatment with it when you see it kicking in and it's gone before it starts. 2 days, completely gone out of my pond, all of it. Now I've got the horrible chalky white look everywhere, but
that would soon disappear.
yeah, that's what I mean. Quick vac out with that brush attachment, it'll give it a nice clean back, it'll be gone. But it's better
Just
than
let the temperatures come up a little bit more, and they'll soon grub about and get it moved.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the other way of looking at it too, mate.
Just raise the KH in your pond, wouldn't it?
You know, the more times you put that hoover in, the more natural food you are taking out of the pond. A natural ecosystem you're also taking out of the pond.
Well, I'll tell you what then, Vince, you've just persuaded me to never put that vac in there again because I don't like using the damn thing anyway. It's a pain in the ass. If it stayed running constant, I wouldn't care, but it's that turn on 40 seconds.
Yeah. I'm trying to say,
I feel like getting hold of it and launching it into a car park.
You'd be better off going to Screwfix and getting a fucking wetback.
Yeah, I would, mate. I would. But technically, Dad, if you're watching, mate, it's yours anyway. So
you can have it back.
You can have it back.
Well, he lent it me to use, and it's never gone back.
30 years ago.
Yeah, something like that kind of thing. Yeah. Captain Guy said barley straw extract was very good, but it has been withdrawn for some reason.
Toxic.
Can't get hold of none for love nor money. There you go.
Yeah.
Skeggy says barley straw extract is still available.
Skeggy's got it all.
Yeah.
Skeggy's flogging it.
Twice the price.
There you go. I just checked us for the 1st of August 2020. I'd heard this actually. I heard this at the show. But for the 1st of August 2020, barley straw extracts can no longer be sold. It was banned by the EU.
But we're not in the EU anymore, are we?
On the OATA's website.
We're not in the fucking EU anymore.
You know, when we were down at the show, oh no, I went with my family, didn't I? First one. I heard somebody talking about that down there, and that will have been. No, not 2020. That'll have been 2021.
21.
Yeah, 2021.
Skeggy's got a stockpile.
Yeah, it is.
He's got all.
If everybody wants them,
You probably find it's the only thing the rats haven't chewed through. Sorry,
Seskia's Reef and Pond asks, upcoming shows and events, who is going, when and where?
Oh,
that's our second question.
We're going to the Newark thing, aren't we, Gaz?
The up and coming event with Ricky Stoddard and
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going?
Yep, all four of us here are going.
Well, we've got Colin and we've got Vicky from Bubbles and Fins that's going as well. So that's 6 of us.
We've also got Rocket Boys coming with me as well.
Oh, awesome. There we go. We've got a decent outing then, haven't we?
Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
But Koi Show's this year. I'm going to do the Great British Koi Show and I'm going to do the All England. I just don't see the point of doing the national, personally.
Which ones? Where's the national at? Is that Kent or is that?
No, that's the All England in Kent.
The All England Kent. And
the national is the one up by Coventry.
Yeah. Slightly smaller one, that one, isn't
it? Yeah.
Should be.
It's the one that hasn't changed in Christ knows how many years.
I didn't say this. Alan, I didn't say this. It's not me. So, again, I can give him his comment. I can give him his little video. Do you want to give it him, Alan? Should I give it him, Alan? I think we should. Just in case.
Vince the Twisted won the GKP at no count accepts any liability.
There you go, Alan. That was for Alan, that. sent me a private message saying just sticking with a warning. So there you go. Newark.
That's
Go to the Newark.
that is just personal choice from personal experience.
But well, I mean, even when Alan were on though, he did say that there is up and coming things and new stuff that they're trying to do and bring in and show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Skeggy's going to the Newark Secret Sassy. That's what it's called.
Oh,
the
That's
Secret
one.
Sanctuary.
Secret Sankey Part 2.
Yeah.
It's not that secret anymore.
No.
That's that bad.
Yeah, they're selling tickets for it. So
Words
it's not
out.
yeah, but I am really looking forward to that. I'm hoping that I can just sit back and listen and learn and get some info.
Absorb it all in.
I'm just gonna follow Alan all day. Alan, how do I pick this? How do I pick that? Alan, sorry mate, it might drive you mad all day long, but I'm gonna be listening. Well, I think to me that's the way to listen, isn't it? Listening to masters that know what they're talking about. At the end of the day, I mean, this is what they do for a living, isn't it? If you can't learn there in that environment, then you might as well just pack it in.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping anyway. Should be a good day. Looking forward to
Well,
it.
you've got the other side of it as well, like Alan himself has said, you know, what would win a show would not be what he would pick for his pond, you know. So to get an opinion from someone like that on these fish that we're going to be looking at is just going to be amazing, you know, in that respect, you know, because he knows the difference between something that's a pond fish and something that's a show fish. And you know, he said himself, you know, a lot of the fish that I would pick would go nowhere in a show, and he's the head judge. So you know, that in itself just proves that, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a message there. It's just that's just popped up. Which, Mick, what do you want to do? Let me know. Mr. Lawson has got a ticket that's up for grabs for said event. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to see if you can find somebody for it right here, right now, mate? If you do, let me know. We can spin a wheel.
Spin that wheel.
If everybody's interested, spin a wheel. We can put a few names in if anybody's interested. I don't know. You want to do it as a giveaway? Then obviously, if anybody needs it or wants it or gets it, you'll contact me. I'll put you in touch with Mick, and he will forward you the information that you're required to go. Because
I reckon it's going to be a wicked day.
Yeah,
I do know. I think it's going to be really good. But I think right now for Mick, it's a little bit too much for some discomfort and pain that is in. That's the reason why.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying that, mate. He's got a little bit of discomfort, and it's a bit difficult. Long time standing for it. It'd be a long day, a long event, and he'd probably end up in a lot of discomfort with it. So let me know what you want to do. If you want to do a giveaway, who's interested? Who would like to get a ticket that's up for grabs, courtesy of Mr. Lawson, and you've got a free ticket to go to said event, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Give it to Peter's Puddle. Well, I mean, that's entirely up to Mick. It's not for me to give away, mate. It's not mine. It would be entirely up to Mick to do whatever he chooses with it. But if there's anybody that's interested and would like a free ticket, there you go. Mick's got one on offer. Open the comments. Let me know if you want to do whatever.
It's going to be a wicked day of koi nerding.
Yes.
Yeah,
Non-stop.
I think it will be a lot of koi nerding, to be fair. But I mean, if it literally is all koi nerding, it's just going to be sit there and kind of like a sponge and absorb as much as you can, in my eyes. 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm the same whenever I go down and see Ricky, you know. The man's been doing it for 30 years, so why wouldn't you want to listen and learn from him? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'm happy to give it away for you, Mick. If people are interested and you want to be in on it, just let me say, you know, I'm in on the free ticket. Just put a comment in, let me know. Or yes, draw, ticket, whatever. I don't know. Come on, Somebody put a statement in, whatever you want, and then I'll just start adding people to a free spinner wheel, and we'll spin it, and we'll get a winner for it. And it gives Mick a chance to give you a little bit of something, guys.
So
Farmer O'Toole says, yes, I would like the ticket. Right, so there we go. I'm in.
Whilst we're here chatting, what would we do for the national then to make us all want to go? What would have to change? We're all saying none of us are going to the national. What would change to make us all want to go?
I mean, honestly, mate,
further up north.
Yeah, moving it to the field. Honestly, for me, I've enjoyed everyone I've been to. So it's not. It's
I mean,
not been,
what I mean,
I like them all. I've enjoyed them all.
for me, like I say, I remember going to the first national when it came back up at Coventry, when they finally brought it back after Christ knows how many years of not having a national. And it was wicked because it's the first one I'd ever been to. And yet I go to the national last year and it was literally like going back in time. You know, it's exactly the same layout. You know, there's nothing really there for interaction to pull in people that have come in to see what's going on and pull them in. Can you see it? There needs to be something there. I mean, there's plenty of people out there screaming we need to get the younger generation more into the hobby and that. Well, we need stuff that's going to grab hold of this younger generation and pull them towards the hobby, you know. And if there's nothing but just a set of vats and some stalls that are selling fish and goods, how are you going to how are you going to get people to? Can you see what I mean? Am I making sense?
Interaction's the key, isn't it? You need stuff going on, and
And the other one I've been asked is, are you a member of the BKKS? No. Why would I want to be a member of the BKKS? What does it actually do? You know, and no one's actually given me the definitive answer as what the BKKS actually does for the koi hobby as a whole. And we're not, and I'm not having to go at Alan, so don't go getting interested.
Stalkers at the event. Sorry, go on. Stalkers at the event, he said. I just while I was checking for messages.
What they used to do, though, Vince, is now available everywhere else, isn't it? So they used to do a magazine and they'd help people with health issues and so they were a support for hobbyists, which now you just go on YouTube, you go to one of these other channels, it's all there. You don't need the BKKS to tell you how to do your filter or how to treat Costia, or because and without you, like you say, you don't get anything back for your subscription apart from the show.
Yeah,
but how can they? How do they go forward? And there needs to be. Can't just slate it. You just need. You need.
No, I'm not slating it in that respect, but from my point as someone who goes to one of these things, I mean, you'll find that 9 times out of 10, the whole lot is aimed at the high level, but there's nothing there to bring people in on the smaller level to want to aspire to get to that high level. Can you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, I completely. I honestly, I've been a few times myself, and I've taken people with me, and it's been. I'm interested, but within an hour, everyone's with me. It's like, well, we've seen them, we've seen the fish, and off you go. So they need constructive advice. You need, people to say, actually, if there was a growing show done before, supplied by whoever, or some kind of, like you say, whatever,
some kind of interaction with the actual community itself to pull people in to want to go to the national. Can you see what I mean? Because they've then been.
I've never been to any of the nationals, but I've been to lots of other shows in different fields, landscaping and all that kind of thing. And one of the main things that I always found that attracted people to go to the shows was looking for new products and things. Well, there don't seem to be any in koi. Is it just the fact that it's that expensive to exhibit at a show? The smaller companies can't afford to, so none of the products go on show, or is it the fact that it financially at the moment nothing like that's happening? It's
Well,
just
I think they touched on this last night on Ricky's live, and they said about we need other
Any more on the spin?
manufacturers, people to sell food. So having someone who represents Saki Akari there, someone who represents
and do
Coppens,
show offers and things. Yeah,
you know, and have stands there telling people why this food is better than that one. You know, but you go to the show and you've got EA and you've got one other and you've got a couple of sales things, and you know, yes, you've got reps there that you can talk to, but if you've got a lot of people there, when you stand, you know, you end up standing around waiting just to ask someone a question. But if there was someone there dedicated, can you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I
know, like with the NPC, it's not that expensive for people to exhibit. It just killed it. It just the shows just tended to go sort of downhill.
Well, yeah,
worse and worse every year.
I mean, when Alan,
he's gone.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Alan's cut him off.
He's got to it.
Enough, Vince.
Snipe it in.
We've lost him. There we go. He's back.
Okay.
Anybody else? Any more in for the to win the free ticket for the Secret Sankey Part 2, provided by Mr. Lawson?
Ryan and Scraggs in, apparently.
We've got what?
Ryan and Scraggs want in.
Oh yeah, I've got Ryan in. We've got Ryan in. Sorry, we've got Ryan. We've got Scraggs in. We've got Amanda Smith in. Any more? Oh, we've lost him again.
Definitely lost Vince.
Tesco's Wi-Fi, says Simon. Is it? How good hang about? Is it Tesco's Wi-Fi? Is it? Is it
a conspiracy?
Could be his neighbour's Wi-Fi, isn't it?
Could be Tesco's Wi-Fi, or it could be a conspiracy. There we go. We're back, Vince. You're back, mate. Tesco's Wi-Fi. Hang about. We've got Crafty Koi saying I'm in. I think you're already going to be there, mate, aren't you?
Go on.
No. Hope you're all good. Epic video recently as well. Some cracking koi does, bud. Yes, mate. There's some lovely stuff down there. You are already in, Crafty. You're already going, mate. I'm not putting you in on a spinning wheel for something that you're a part of the event. I mean, you're furniture, aren't you?
Yeah, but that's what I thought.
There we go. We're all laughing faces, so.
He'll be selling it on the black market.
Right then. Well, I guess what we're doing, one spin win or a knockout?
Do a knockout. Everyone likes
one spin win.
One spin win.
I said that last time we got outvoted.
Right, so we got 50-50. I've gone for a knockout. Vince said do a knockout, and you two both said one spin win.
Rock, paper,
right.
scissors.
First comment in the chat: spin to win or knockout. Let's go. Quick. One spin win. Jig's got it. There we go. One spin win. This is it, guys. Lucky winner's going to win.
Go on.
We'll go too slow. Right. There you go, mate. We shall see you there, bud.
Cool.
Right as the winner.
We will see you there.
Right, you've got the details, mate. I'll send it you through Facebook Messenger, bud. And I'll speak to you soon about it either later on this evening or tomorrow morning, bud.
Cool. I look forward to it, right?
Short and sweet.
Sweet.
Oh, let's just see who would have won it if it wasn't you, Ryan.
Second place.
Carlos with us.
There we go. There we go, guys. There you go. Right.
Yeah, one.
I did say the first person to come back to me with the quickest answer, which was going to make the decider. We had a 50-50 on it in the panel, and then, check that out. Ooh, stop sharing. But the prize goes to Ryan. There you go, mate. Congrats.
Well done, mate.
I feel bad for the other guy.
Oh, no, that was just a teaser. He gets a runner-up prize, which is absolutely nothing, Carlos. It's just what you would have won. Yeah. Do you remember you used to do that on the game show? Let's see what you could have won. God damn you. Shit.
But if you still want to go, there is quite possibly still tickets on the Koi Talk website.
Yeah, more than likely there is, but at least that particular person doesn't have to pay for it now because it's free.
No, yeah. You
Good
can.
man. There you go. Right. So I'll sort you out, mate. I'll send you details, bud. Sneak about. You sneaked off just at the wrong time. What did I miss? That's what happens when you
teach you for sneaking about.
Yeah. That'll teach you for sneaking off into kitchens for nibbles and missing the show.
There you go.
Captain's going to check for you to see if there is any more available tickets.
Because I know there was 200 tickets available, wasn't there?
I'm not 100% sure whether or not I had actually any comments on the Facebook group about the questions of what. One thing I have got to show you guys. This is something that I think is pretty cool. And I'd like to say a massive big thanks to Paul Cos, because this is something I know I showed you before. I hope I don't go off now. No, I didn't. Sweet. Right. So you can see I got this little Star Wars lamp figure there, which is of the Millennium Falcon. And if I turn this one off, turn my monitor off, you'll be able to see this one. There you go. There's a Star Wars one. This was made for me by Cos, who is Paul. And his details and information. Now, he just made me the plaque because I already had these bases which are interchangeable. But he made me this little plaque.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I can change these for all the Star Wars figures, ones that I've got from Mike. Cheers, bud, that because I think these are wicked. But that, man, is sweet, mate. It's absolutely sweet.
Is that cousin toy?
It's Cos. That's in the Discord group, mate.
Oh, right.
But I'm not sure of his last name. I'll tell you. One sec. I'll put my second monitor on and have a look. Now, the only reason why I mention it is he's capable of doing. Now, not all patterns are doable, as easy to do as others. So, depending on the level of detail that goes into it, will depend on whether or not it might cost slightly more. But for all those that might be interested in getting yourself a YouTube lamp with a little bit of your logo on it, he does sell the whole kit, but it comes with the lamp and your designed logo done. And his details are actually on my Facebook group. And this is not to encourage you to come. It's in case you're already there. If you want to join, feel free. You can find it by clicking on the link. But I will try to see if I can post his details in the community post as well. So that we can.
Yeah, that'd be nice for those that don't have.
For those that don't do Facebook, yeah, I know. I'll send you a link. But it's Paul Cosgrove. Is the gentleman's name. I've got all these details and the email address and everything. So if anybody's interested and anybody wants any of them, let me know. And then, frankly, Coy, I'm in. No, you're not, mate. You're a little late.
Frankly, you missed the boat.
Sneak about or sneaking up for a late tea.
See?
Oh, and Crafty says there is still 95 tickets available, but that one you didn't have to pay for. So there are still some available. But yeah, if anybody's interested and anybody wants any of them, hit me up, let me know, drop me your details, and I'll get you the information through to you. If you're not a part of the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, and then you can place your orders yourself directly. But what I will do is share this comment on my community post as well. But yeah, I think they're pretty cool. Pretty good. Chuffed a bit with it, Cos. Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Nice.
Next.
Looks worth it.
Gaz, can I just ask that joystick, mate?
Yes, it's a Thrustmaster.
What's that?
What's it for?
I haven't seen a joystick like that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's for my game. It's for my space flying game that I play. So I have a throttle and 25 different switches on. Anyway, I'll show you. It's only a cheap one, but some of these can be like
You had to
500,
ask, didn't you, Ricky?
500.
Oh, what have I done?
So,
Why did you start it?
and that one literally just it's for a space simulation game that I play, mate. But it's a
Men
Thrustmaster.
that have never grown up.
It's just easier than this or this.
So, says the man who paints little fucking figures.
But yeah, it's for a game called Star Citizen. Check it out, man. If you haven't had it, look at it. Have a look at it. It's a wicked game. It's gonna be the best game ever produced. 100%.
Not enough hours in the day, I'm afraid.
Yorkshire Coy, it's Star Citizen, mate. It's flying spaceships, yeah. There you go. I'm Cos. Thanks for the shout out. No worries, mate. I'm going to share it in the
Cosy boy, you said no.
I didn't at all. I said I'm not 100% sure what his name is in here. I just said I know him as Paul or Cos. There you go. I haven't actually linked the two together. My bad. What an ass. Alan Tate said, night guys. I'm off to bed. God damn you. I'm off to work in the morning. You all sound like your day's going to be way better than mine. I'm off to bed in the morning to be part of a judging team in their show this weekend.
Nice.
Awesome.
It would be lovely if you come back and tell us all about it when you've done, mate. And have a good, lovely weekend. All the best.
Yeah, definitely.
Safe trip, mate.
I play COD on PS5. Unlucky son, you need a PC. You and those poor guys that we keep killing. No, PC is the way to go, mate. I can't do all this pad thing. It makes my fingers ache. And I end up shooting all over the place. Like, a bit like Jeff. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, my boy started playing COD again, and he turns into a different fucking person when he's playing that fucking game.
Yeah, angry, flipping.
Yeah.
Words that you've never heard before.
Yeah.
I play COD as well, says Crafty. And then he says, PC players cheat. No, they're just superior, man. Look, what you've got to remember is all games that you play on your khaki consoles were designed on PCs for you. So, of course, they're going to be easier on a PC because they're made for PCs. And we just give you the reject game that you'll get on your Xbox consoles. Aimbots. How can you say that, right? If you play what you're playing on, if you're playing on on the Xbox, then the Xbox literally has an aim assist.
Yep, it does because my son plays it.
The PlayStation. So
moving back to Koi.
I got he plays it on the
PC
Xbox.
Master Race, that's the one, mate. That's the one. PC players.
And
are
I've got
average.
the oldest boy plays it on his fucking mobile.
Aaron.
Can't get away
I'll
from
have
the
a cup of
fucking
tea in a
game.
minute to keep this up.
I'm sorry. We'll have to stop because Daz, when he says he's going, which means literally he'll be gone once he works out how to switch phone off. So yeah, we'll stay away now from gaming and all gaming talk. Has anybody else got any? Look at it. They're all coming out now. Like a boss. That's it, mate. PC's rule. Like a boss.
I got a question for you, Gaz.
Please.
Yeah, I got a question here, right?
Leave us all.
Would any of you like buy a koi, leave out in Japan or wherever, never see it, and then never ship it back because presumably they don't? Is that something? It seems quite alien to a lot of people, doesn't it? Hey,
yeah.
Hey for a
You mean
fish.
as a Gary?
No, not
because
to leave.
There's no G.
Get it.
It's Azukari. It's a K, not a G.
As a what?
Azukari.
As a carry.
As you left your fish in Japan, mate.
Yeah.
Would I leave a fish?
Exactly. Why do you spend all that money to have a fish that you don't really own?
I don't think I'd do as a
business.
carry either, to be fair. When I've looked up the terms of what as a carry means, not as a carry means. The first year, you're guaranteed if anything happens to the fish for it to be replaced. The second year, and then third year, fourth year, you've absolutely no chance. But some, not all, but some koi farms will replace the fish if they've lost it in the first season. But the vast majority of others won't, from what I've read up on. Don't know if it's right, but that's what some of them are. But there's no way on this earth I'd buy a fish and leave it in Japan. If I bought a fish, I'd want to be coming home from Japan into my pond.
If I ever had, if money was no object, and I bought a fish that was going to be entered into the All Japan or something, I would leave it in Japan for the show. But once it's been in the show, I would want to have it come home. I wouldn't leave it in Japan, no.
But there's people that don't even have ponds, that buy fish, leave them in Japan, and they haven't got anywhere for them to come back to.
Yeah, like Kraft is there, like a sponsor of fish.
That's like a status symbol, though, isn't it? Really,
Well, I suppose
it's not a koi keeper.
I don't know.
That's a good way of putting it, actually, Crafty.
Well, it kind of is, isn't it? I suppose it's like sponsoring a mountain lion.
Yeah.
No one do that either.
No.
So no, I wouldn't.
No.
But I don't think I'd even leave a fish out there as a carry either. I don't think I'd do that.
No.
I mean, especially if there's no guarantee and you're screwed if it's done in, it's dead, it's predated upon or whatever. It's gone, isn't it? I mean, all that money for you didn't even get to enjoy 5 minutes of it.
And how would you ever know if it did die? You could have just sold it to someone else.
You see it, so yeah.
There you go. Peter's hit it on. There you go. The problem is don't have enough money for that. Yeah. I wouldn't even make I wouldn't be able to afford a fish like that.
We don't have to worry about that then, do we?
Yeah. That's why I can give you a definite answer of no. Because I won't have the brass for it.
Would you do it if people offered it in this country? If Mark at Cuttlebrook, Adam, or myself, whatever, said, actually, yeah, we're going to offer these fish, but you can't have them.
Possibly that, mate.
Would that change?
Would, yeah.
If you did, yes.
What's he doing?
You're not having a peeing corner out here out like that.
To be honest, I'd never offer it because it's a nightmare.
It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It would just be an absolute headache.
Mr. Tropical Koi says, I've got Gazara. Are you keeping it for a season then? There's no guarantee.
But it's not that big a stretch. We look after fish all winter for people for free.
Yeah.
So it's only actually then a summer's. But yeah, I don't get why some people do it. But actually, yeah, the fish in Japan can be grown better. So if you leave them for a year, it's a gamble. You might pay off, it might not. But
it's putting all the onus on someone else, isn't
This
it?
community is brilliant. You make me laugh, man. Vince is sitting on a bookie in the back.
he is. You could just see his head. All of that.
I reckon he kind of looked like as he was disappearing up there to just crouch down in the corner. He is, mate. Yeah, he's just.
Is he gone to bed?
I mean, you went for a peeing corner.
Is that a bottle?
What we got?
Down?
Not my bottle.
Munchie's gold.
Munchie's gold. I thought you'd come out of prison piss. Oh dear.
Where did you have them in? Under the loft installation or something?
What?
I said,
It's converted loft, isn't it? He's literally just turned his loft into a modelling room. So yeah, it's
with snacks.
It has does yours, Vince, does it have the roof trusses in there? Is that what you just swing your leg over then as you come in?
I've only got one that goes across the centre.
Yeah.
I thought it was a dog gate.
Bolt up in the loft.
Steph says he's Vince having a shipbreak back there. Oh, dear me. God damn. Rick, what have you let yourself in for him? This,
I've been up for so long now. I don't know, mate. I'm just grateful I haven't got to go back to work in a minute. It's done. So
Yeah.
I was due back for the night, but
So are you going back in tonight? Have you got some more spawns?
No. All done.
No, we would have had to go back in tonight had it not gone last night.
yeah, all the parents are back in their ponds. Literally in, done, out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so how long did you say you can get it turned around again?
Gaz,
Hang on, go on.
you're just going to ask about the mats for putting the eggs on.
Oh, the spawn mats, yeah.
Spawn mats.
You would have had videos if Vince had turned up.
God damn it, Vince.
Oh, damn, yeah. Sorry, guys. You would have had some videos to see if Vincent had turned up. So send all your hate mail that way.
I'm fucking used to that anyway.
Same day, same shit.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me. Has anybody else got any questions they would like to ask ourselves, any of us? Because we are. That technically is... Peter says Vince is the only person with a vending machine in his loft.
Not quite.
D4. Good old days. What have we got here coming up then? Craftley, surely you didn't go to the glass house.
Yeah, Ricky, when you spawn your fish, because you hand spawn, don't you? So when you fertilise the eggs, what do you then tip them out onto then? Is it like a special spawning mat?
We'll strip the eggs into a fish bag. Magic stuff they don't do anything. Strip the milk into the fish bag. Nothing. You can literally 2 or 3 hours. Then you could go on a drive, do whatever. Nothing happens at that point. We personally put them onto like in trays with mats because the eggs and the milk sink, so they fertilise as they drop down and settle on something.
Right.
So quite often when you use spawning ropes and stuff, the fish spawn and all the eggs literally fall to the bottom of the tank or the pond, and don't ever come to end up in a big mess. So we put them in trays with grids at the bottom and literally just pour them in. As soon as the milk and the eggs hit the water, they fertilise and become sticky. So you can just do layer upon layer upon layer upon layer in trays, and we can set 50,000 eggs in 5 minutes, all nicely. Give them 5 minutes, just put them then into the ponds, and it's safe. They're just fertilised. All the milk and all the fluid doesn't go into the pond, so you start them much cleaner again.
Yeah, so it's sterile.
The mats we use literally are like onion bags. You buy them for nothing, literally, and the eggs will stick to them, and they'll open out in the pond. Just put a stone in the bottom, and you've got, you can set 100,000 eggs in one little pond, all nicely segregated, separated, no fungus, no problem. Just as easy as you like, really.
Yeah, brilliant.
Question then from Crafty then, it's kind of similar, sort of like related to what you're talking about. Rick, what's your thoughts on eggs being transported for fertilisation? I hear many things from Europe that is still classed as a good way of getting results. Well, that's what you were just saying, and you can put them into these bags that you can go wherever you want with for as long as you want.
We do supply other farms with eggs and milk in the bag, and they're inactive. You probably got 2, 3, 4 hour window. Just go wherever with them, and then lastly you can do whatever you want. As soon as they hit water, they'll fertilise. Some people will go through the process of de-sticking them for the jars, the Zuba jars, where you are well in jars. To be honest, we used to do it, but actually there's no point. It's just a really risky having them all in that area. it's just there's no need for it for what we do.
Could you get from Japan to Europe with
What, unfertilized eggs or eggs as in that's the problem. Is unfertilized eggs are very, very tough. So you've got a window. I don't know how long you might 6 or 8 hours, maybe. I don't know. Unfertilized once they're fertilized, they become super fragile. So as soon as the cells start dividing, after a couple of hours, any shocks will just kill them. So you could probably transfer unfertilized eggs from Japan to Europe if you're pretty quick. But you'd struggle. Yeah.
You might not want to answer this next one, Rick, but I'll ask you anyway, just in case. Tony Barker says, Rick, what type brand of food do you use on the farm?
Coppens. Yeah, we sell it, we use it. Coppens food, they do a massive range of foods. People seem to think it's just one or two sorts. We use virtually exclusively their spirulina diet, which no one ever seems to use. It goes completely under the radar. It's their best diet by a country mile. We don't use any of the top quality. Basically, it's quite a low protein food, but actually growth's phenomenal on it. And they do. I don't know how many they do food for every species of fish. I mean, they do all the Japan pet product foods under license. They know what goes in food. So all the Medicart people buy and the Shori and all those foods are produced by Coppens under license. So they know exactly they make it. But a lot. The trouble is, you buy Coppens food. They do carp foods. They do sturgeon foods. They do all sorts of foods that are not suitable for koi ponds that get sold as koi foods because they're cheaper. They do a range of koi foods that are all right. Some of them are not great for water clarity. Some of them are not great for, you've got to find what works for you. And we've got a couple of diets we use exclusively that can't knock it for cost per kilo. I think I said to Vince, our food bill would go from 40 to 140 grand by changing from Coppens to Sakai Hikari.
Yeah.
And the 40 grand, our food bill is not, that's for the specific food we use, which isn't their cheaper food, but it's, when we go through 10 ton a year or whatever, it's not something we can, it's a, we wouldn't get that money. We wouldn't get that money back if we can't sell our fish for that much more, unless we, upped every aspect of the game. Yeah. So,
no. Do you think your mum could feed that much? 10 ton?
I'd have to get her a new shop
every day, wouldn't you? I've got a question for you, Rick. Then I think I've seen a video of the hoppers that you use. Are they something that you've produced and made yourself? Your feeders. They look like they're on like maybe a box type on a worm thing that kind of goes off every now and again and twiddles the food out to feed it. We stopped using all feeders on ponds. We use feeders for the fry ponds. Everything else is done by hand. Yeah. Because we were getting so much damage because obviously the fish congregate to a feeder. Yeah. And then wildlife congregates to a feeder. And the damage is a nightmare.
We'll be there ready to pick them off and in a feeder and
we just get all sorts. So
the same as we've seen in Poland, mate, where they're going out there with buckets and tubs full of them, literally just wanging it in there and feeding them all by hand.
Yeah, that's exactly what we go around with the quad. Basically, Sean goes around with the quad 3 times a day. You hear him motoring around, and that's You can watch each pond. You can judge the colour, how much they're feeding.
That's the thing. If it's cold and the fish, the appetite drops off, they're going to get fed regardless with an automated feeder, aren't they? And it's better, I think.
Yeah, obviously it depends on the types of feeder, and we used to use self-feed ones where they could rattle a bar to feed themselves, but you basically end up with every fish in the pond sat in one area, and the pond will go crystal clear. And it's not a good environment that for them. The feeders that put the food in an area, the fish just congregate and they just become so vulnerable and get damaged. It's just, yeah.
And the feeders that do scutter it about are fucking too expensive.
Yeah, it's just cheaper to go around on a quad, and you can watch. You know the time of day, you know the color of the pond, you know the temperature. You go 1 scoop or 2 today, whatever. The fish still get used to the sound of the quad. They will race a whole pond length to get to where the quad is. They'll follow it back up the pond to the other end. But yeah, that's how that works for us. So yeah, you have to use automated feeders on the young stuff because they just need trickle feeding all the time.
Yeah.
But once they go out into the big ponds, it's all hand done basically.
There's one here for you, Vince. Amanda says, I was watching some of old videos of Twisted today and never had his top on, showing his bod off. We were laughing faces. That was the session that he was doing, was one for the ladies, if you look at the bottom. In the extra bit, it's classed as one for the ladies.
Sorry, once the temperature gets to a certain temperature in the summer, it's shorts and waistcoat. That's it, because my temperature gets. Well, it's not just that, because of the medication and that I'm on. My body temperature goes too high. I then end up throwing up and stuff like this. So
yeah. So
it makes a special little season for the summer mums. You got to put that in comments. One for the ladies next time. Sorry, mate. So, Crafty was saying unfertilized then, yeah. So unfertilized, yes, it is possible, but whether or not you'd be able to travel that far with them.
To be honest, that's a good. You probably could chill them. I don't know. The longest we've gone is about 6 hours with unfertilized eggs, and they've been good. But yeah, I don't know. You possibly could strip them, chill them, and off you go. You might be able to get a couple of days
from Japan to Europe.
A long time, isn't it? A long flight, isn't it?
Usually about 14 hours or something. They're from Japan to Europe.
15 hours, but you can't get them from the fish onto the plane immediately, can you? You can't go, no. Here's my plane. Let's go.
You've got customs and everything else.
In my head, why wouldn't you just take the female? Why wouldn't you just take the fish?
Yeah.
You can't, can you? Well, I suppose, yeah, you could from Japan to there, but from there back.
You can't go back.
I'm guessing it's hinting at the Ishigigoi, where it is, they don't bring anything in, they don't take anything out. If it ever goes, it doesn't come back. Kind of thing. So they bring in, when they want to bring in new bloodlines, they bring in egg-based and milt, because the two separate, not together, can't bring any form of bacterial infection and the rest of it, because it's not carried through in the egg source or in the milk.
That's kind of why we do. That's why we do as we do. But yeah, I don't know. Yoshigoi they were buying parents up until, I don't know. Joss was definitely buying stuff. Yeah, I don't know how you'd get.
Joss was at Adam Byers last year looking for brood stock.
Don't know. Who knows? But yeah, you theoretically you can, transport the eggs. I don't know if you get eggs from a good enough parent fish. If you've got a top fish in Japan, you're not going to want to be giving the eggs away.
No,
I don't know. I don't know.
Would you really want to risk the fucking 14-hour plus journey with something so precious? You know, if it's coming from like a high. What are you giggling?
I'm just giggling at man that put a little haha in the one that I said about for the ladies. Sorry. Just ignore me if I'm giggling. I'm giggling at comments. Nip has put in, Rick, how much is a big bag feed? How much is
a big bag feed?
Rick, how much is big bag feed?
I think it's a sack of the spirulina, the Vitality food we retail at about 100 quid for a 15 kilo sack. I presume that's what he's asking. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. Because somebody was saying there about a spirulina of 60 kg, £60 for a 15 kg bag of spirulina.
We can't supply at that price. That's probably what it costs from Coppens. You're talking on the ton, yeah, probably. I mean, anyone can buy from Coppens. It's not. You can go on there and buy sacks or pallets. Obviously, the more you buy, the cheaper you get it.
Yeah, no, it's the same in it. No matter what you buy,
It's
if you buy it in
the more you buy, cheaper it gets.
Yeah, we're not super competitive on foods. We don't do dry goods really. We sell fish, and we sell the food because people want to use the food we use. But yeah.
The main focus for you guys is the fish. It always has been.
Fish.
That's it's koi farm, isn't it? That's what you do. Farm koi.
Yeah.
Produce them. Yep. Any more? Has anybody else got any more questions? Anything you want to ask us? Anything you want to know? While you're
That's what food do you use?
I use Japan mix, the stuff from Koi at the moment.
Coppens.
Coppens.
Yeah, it'll be Coppens, yeah. They're all bloody Coppens.
Yeah.
There's very few manufacturers, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So you're limited where you're going to get food from because there's not many manufacturers of actual foods. Most of the ones that were in this country don't do it anymore. So yeah, Coppens do a good for us. They do a good. You choose the right diet for what you're trying to do. A lot of people go for the too high protein foods. Unless you're growing the fish at a crazy rate, why are you trying to feed them 55% protein?
Yeah,
food?
they can't absorb it, can they? You get all foam in your water, and what's the point?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think the spirulina is 37% protein, and our biggest Sanzai Sanki's 69 centimeters. They don't grow any faster than that. That's as fast as you're going to grow a koi.
Well, they say that a koi can only extract 38% of protein out of the food, and anything over that, it just gets passed through as protein in the water. So you bang on with that.
That is all temperature related, though.
Temperature, age, there's so many variants, but yeah. Most people grow food and they're feeding an unheated pond that's over. You just don't know.
What size pellet do you use for most of your stock then?
3 mil.
Yeah,
small pellet.
We use it's so versatile, isn't it? Big fish.
Yeah,
it just saves
big fish eat small food, wouldn't they? So yeah, we generally use it. It's easier for them to take. If we're trying to grow fish, we might pre-soak it, and they take it even quicker. But yeah, generally it's smaller foods. Everything can take the smaller foods. Bigger fish just eats more of it, digest it quicker, off they go. But yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing we picked up from Yoshigoi, wasn't it, Gaz? The 3 mil pellet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seemed, everything got fed the 3 mil pellet, and it seems a lot less. I mean, knowing the numbers that you stock in your mud pond, it's always going to be mad crazy when food go on. But when it's a smaller pond like what you've got, like I've got in my garden, it doesn't. Feeding the bigger pellets, they seem to be a lot more wham everything. We're trying to get something right quick. Whereas now, the smaller pellet and scatter it about a little bit, and everything seems to slow down. It seems to be a lot less.
They're more chilled, aren't they?
Yeah, more chilled out with it from that. It might just be coincidence, but that's what I've noticed.
Yeah, I've noticed the same, Gaz.
Certainly aren't as fired up as what they were on a bigger pellet beforehand, anyway.
Yeah,
the smaller pellet is easier for them to digest as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But for the same handful, you're throwing in 20 times more pellet, or whatever, so everyone gets a chance. Whereas if it's just big ones, your couple of big fish just go.
Yeah, that's what I was finding. Then all the little ones were like trying to rush there to get something and missing out.
And I found the big fish, but were charging into each other, and it could cause a problem.
Yeah, damages the issue. But obviously, when they're hungry, they do just race. where they think they're going to get fed.
I'm going to get it.
Like water
Yeah.
skiing, the head's out of the water.
Yeah, mine are like that already, and it's not even warmed up properly yet.
Yeah.
Mine have certainly started feeding a hell of a lot more than what they were. The minute Dog's going out into the garden in the morning, he gets down there at bottom of the garden before I do, obviously, and they're already coming straight up. So, but again, though, we've been having some proper nights where they're dropping off cold on an evening still dropping off a bit compared to what it was.
I mean, you think last year my main pond in the heat, in the height of the summer, just on freeze-dried mealworm and black soldier fly larvae alone, I was going through 1 kilo a week.
Yeah.
And that was without pellet.
Crikey.
Do you supplement anything like that as well? Black fly larvae or, any other kind of tricks?
Mealworms or anything?
Mealworm, or do you just stick with pellet and just bang them out?
We just use literally, if they're in the mud ponds, they're on all sorts of naturals anyway.
Yeah.
As soon as they come into an enclosed environment, we just use the spirulina. It's just
Pass them on.
For your money, it's just the best food that we've used that they do in terms of every aspect. It doesn't destroy the water quality. It doesn't colour the water. It doesn't create an oily film. The fish do really well on it. It's just, and for that price, I'd love to use Sakai Hikari. It wouldn't, but yeah.
Realistically, for a business that's running as you are, that'd be one hell of an expensive food bill, wouldn't it?
It's an extra 4 or 5 members of staff, isn't it? It's
the only food I mix in with my takazumi, and that's the 3 mil vitality that I get from Ricky.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, like I say, it isn't the best food on the market, but for what you get for your money, you're still going to be.
Oh yeah, definitely. But if I was feeding 1 pond of 20 koi, I'd probably shell out on Sakai, the best food I could get. If I've only got 20 fish, you're only paying 200 quid every 6 months or whatever. But it's all relative, isn't it? So definitely,
the more fish you look after, the more it hits you, doesn't it? And obviously,
And none of that they get bigger each year, and the bigger they get, the more they want to eat.
Yeah.
Chasing koi. I mean,
have to do another spin now, wouldn't you? Make it fair.
No, Mike's probably sat there laughing his head up at that one. God. Well, guys, it's been entertaining. It's been educational. Oh, hang about. We might have one more last quick question from MJH Koi. Rick, do you use a mixture of sinking and floating foods?
No. Well, if it's pre-soaked, some of it sinks. So my personal my grow on stuff, yes, but only because I've pre-soaked it. So it falls in the water column a bit. But generally, anything where we're conditioning fish for selling, it's all floating food because people want to see the fish, come to see them and be tame. Anything in the mud ponds is on sinking food to try and limit the amount of bird life eating it. So it's what food suits what environment is probably the best answer.
So you're not feeding 10 tons of what you got to all ducks and wild birds that are landing on water. Yeah.
We probably are, but it's fat ducks by us.
Yeah. Even seagulls will eat the damn stuff, won't they?
Yeah. So it's all sinking food out in the ponds because you want them to grub the bottom up as well. Yeah. So the clay ponds work when they're stirred up.
Yeah. So you want them down there grubbing around.
Specifically, want them eating the food and kicking the clay up, and protects them.
The clay's going up through the gills and they're taking in minerals and.
Ponds warm up. The difference between a clear pond and a clay pond when it's kicked up is probably about 4 degrees. Wow. So a coloured pond's much warmer. It absorbs the radiation much better. So you get a warmer pond, more bacteria on the clay up in the water that's basically doing your filtration for you. Yeah, you want to. If you're putting fish in the mud pond, you want it muddy. unless you're growing showers. I mean, you probably want it nice and clear and sandy. So that could be our problem.
Showers sound more trouble than they're worth.
But yeah, you got to work with the environment you got. So our ponds are all proper clay, and most of the varieties do really well. And those that don't, we have to grow the chagoi. We have to grow elsewhere because they just present themselves to every predator known to man. So they're grown separately, and the showers are now being done separately. Other than that, the mud ponds work.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So we all need to turn his ponds into mud ponds.
That's it. That lawn's going to have to go.
That lawn's got to go. Sorry, Estelle. Sorry, Mrs. Whitehead. But the lawn's got to go. Right, guys, I'd like to say a massive big thank you again for Rick for joining us and for Mr.
Welcome.
Mr. Coy. As usual, if you could do me a huge favour, guys, give us a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Till next time. I'll see you all on the next one next week. This time, that's it, mate. That's the one. Keep smiling all. Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure. Educational.
Thanks,
I hope you all enjoyed. Catch you all on the next one, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
Good night, all.